zoom this out a little bit here. I mean, they did go on a little bit of a run. They're a penny stock, essentially, not performing too down 45% from that previous pivot high. We can go over and take a look at the Jets ETF and see how that's been performing. That wasn't horrible, so underperforming some of its peers. UAL, same narrative. It was a pretty good run, and then unfortunately you get that aggressive pullback, 27%. But out of the couple of names that we just went through, it's definitely been taking the brunt of most of this force here to the downside.
All right. Are we going to Neil, or what are we doing?
No,
we're going to continue here, Brenda?
We can chill out. We can chill here if we want. We can go over to Neil. Neil's ready. Neil's ready.
He's on the way, so we'll continue, right? Okay. Continue, man, is close to on the way. Guys, AIFF is taking a bit of a turn here. Down it goes into 265, but that is the breakout level that we were talking about. So a bit of a move, 288 high, dropping into 265. I think if it loses 260, yeah, the long needs to reset. You got a topping tail candle. It didn't quite make it into 3. It got pretty close. Here it comes back into 265. And look, it's still above the 10 EMA on the 5, right? But if 60 gives way, it's got to reset again. I'm thinking likely at around 50 for it to hold. So we'll keep an eye out on that. But AIFF zigging and zagging today. Not a bad look. Not a bad look initially. VSA is also unbroken downtrend over here. Thank you to Luis for giving us the data on this. But I would say, you know, it's still holding above the dollar, still holding above the volume weighted average price. Look for a break of trend, but be careful with the lower highs. I would say between 115 to 120. If it makes a lower high between 115 to 120 and then makes a first 5-minute candle to make a new low, I'd be very, very weary of that. So be careful with VSA. KOD moving up into 40, but now it looks like it might be losing a bit of a bid here into 39. Sorry, let me throw in that ticker.
Headache, man.
Into 39 it goes. So there is a little bit of support, by the way, at around 38.50 to about 39. So it could hold up here. Wait for the first 5-minute candle to make a new high to show you it's holding up. And BZAI, I mean, this one has really been stair-stepping up all day, but the volume has really dropped off. But it just got into the high of the day as well, $1.65. SVRN continues to trend up, having trouble, though, taking out that 30 penny level. So the volume's also dropped off on this one. Shorts are not really taking this one down, but the longs are not buying it up into the high of the day break either. And BATL is all of a sudden losing the bid. We kind of had a feeling that this was setting up as a bit of a head and shoulders pattern. You get the uptrend that precedes the formation of the pattern, and now you're getting the neckline break, I would submit, below the volume weighted average price at around 660. So BATL looking awfully bearish here. Watch for the move into 6. 6 could be support there, Joey. So some interesting names today. There wasn't a whole lot to trade in the world of small cap gappers, but we keep an eye on, you know, the ones that we keep an eye on.
Absolutely. I mean, this market is really continuing its slide. You're getting somewhat of a pullback here now, which isn't horrible. Volume increase. I like this. Seemed a little bit too late. Otherwise, we would have tried one more scalp off of that 171 level. That would have been really good for us here on NVDL. Down to that'd be approximately $71. We'll call it flat all the way to 71.32. And you only had to risk a couple of pennies literally on that one. So that would have been a solid 6 to 1 or something along those lines. I think there's going to be more opportunities. Wait for an additional pullback. If we want to recover somewhat and come back and test the necklines, then that can be a trade in itself, all the way up here to 173.61, and then the same narrative all the way, maybe you get a retest of 650. But I think that's best case scenario, to be honest with you, considering the pace that we're currently on. Bitcoin just absolutely took a nosedive. I'm glad that we got out of that one. It had that slow curl up, but then there was no follow through, and just decided that it wanted to tank after it broke through that support level at 38.98. And look at this 5-minute candle. That tells me that we're not ready to slow down anytime soon. Head over to the lower time frame and get a little bit more detail, and it's the same story it's telling. So 39.03, continuous move to the downside, 38.76. And look at this inverted print right here on NVDA. That's going to come back in here and retest this level. Oh man, it's getting ugly. It's getting ugly for sure. And then we see it from a daily. It was only a matter of time. So when I bought a little bit more shares, I actually sold them. I'm like, you know what? Let me get out of this. Considering I was in at 85, I got out at like 78 or something along those lines. It wasn't substantial, but I'm like, you know what? Considering we didn't get that strong up move, I'm going to be able to get in at a much better price. So for the swing trade, didn't work out, but I know that as soon as we head south of that support level, there's going to be a good buying opportunity, regardless of we getting it or not. I believe that we're going to. So 18%, I'm going to be looking. Oh, 20%. This thing's almost in bear market territory. Like,
which one?
NVIDIA? Yeah.
Oh my.
18%, right? Like, and you have the likes of Meta, they're down 30%. You have Microsoft, so you have out of that basket 3 out of the X amount, 8 makes $1 trillion club individuals almost in bear territory, or if not, or in it.
All right, Katina Man's back, ready to go.
A big smile on his face.
Big smile on his face. He's got a coffee. He's locked. He's loaded.
So you were outside and you didn't bring anything back?
Oh,
that's crazy, man.
He's at the doctor.
Oh, that's it, man.
Cut the man some slack. He's got the love and the energy, which y'all are about to feel, because we're going to send you over to the big boys. See everybody at the big desk shortly.
Later.
I mean, the thing is, like, I could have brought something back, but then it would have been later. And I mean, Joe's already pretty mad. You know,
it's fine.
About
I was
all
like,
that.
locked only ready to go. I'm like, they're like, oh, they just wanted to stay on. So
Yeah, okay, good. I was hoping
said,
so.
yeah, we'll just continue.
I didn't want to
on.
upset. I don't want to upset anybody around here.
Well, maybe they thought that
How's oil?
oil. You cooking?
No, I don't know. Look at this market, man. This is
Chappelle show.
Yeah.
This Sharif's like, yeah.
Sharif. Look what we're doing right here. We're still short the TQs, man. This is now a $2 winner. This is the same trade that we had in the morning, and I'm glad to have been part of this, as there it goes to the downside. We always talk about, you know, trying to hold on to something. I wrote down earlier today, welcome everybody, by the way, to the show. My name is Sean, this is my friend Neil. This morning, we talked about risk on. Risk off. And we posted it right there. Risk off. I said it multiple times there and today, and I thought today would not be a day to run in and start buying everything. Markets, this is my note from 7:30. Markets setting up for potential risk off tone today. Crypto weakens, global momentum cools, downside. So there it goes right now. We are hella downside in this market, and it's been a good run there, and we'll just take out a little bit more as we get into the lows right now on the TQ. So there it goes, man. We actually tweeted this out earlier that we were starting this short, so I wonder, where we're going to go from here. But yeah, welcome back to the show here. We'll talk about oil. I don't even know what oil's been doing. I had to go get an update, an eye doctor's appointment, just an update. Everything's good. CL, so there it goes. Oil up 5% today. Yuck. Really had a turnaround. It looks like around 10:30 there for USO and, the contract. So not a great start here for oil today as we're upside. Depends if you're long or short, I guess, but payment at the pump continues to increase across, North America here, and I know that sucks. Right now, as we talked about it, $8 a gallon or something like that in California. I'm just going to...
You know what doesn't suck, though?
No.
If you're ready to become a real trader...
right, that doesn't suck at all.
Then the next training cohort for Real Trading Campus is around the corner, and this time, we're expanding our reach. If you live outside the U.S., now is your chance to apply and join the program. You'll be trading U.S. equities during regular market hours, so be sure you're available for the continuous U.S. session. This program is carefully designed to help you master market microstructure, different marketplaces and venues, order types, and professional execution versus retail approaches.
Okay.
Space is limited, so don't wait. Apply now and take your trading skills to the next level. Shout out to the Real Trading Campus. You can scan the QR code you see out in front of you. Let's go to the desk with Adara. It's always more news.
Yeah, some news to bite on here is Apple, AAPL, Bloomberg reporting that the company is going to be opening up its Siri to rival AI assistants, which marks a change in strategy. Now, basically what that's going to mean is that Siri will be able to use chatbots beyond ChatGPT from OpenAI. So basically, Bloomberg reporting that Siri will be able to pull from, it looks like, a variety of chatbots. If I get any more details, I will keep you posted.
I mean, that's why we remember earlier this morning, we didn't have any stories. And I said, well, this is something to do with, you know, Siri and all that kind of stuff. And that was eventually going to be released. So we can have a quick look here at Apple. Thanks for that quick update there, Adara. I mean, you know, in a day where the market's down 2%, Apple, this was happening and boom, to the downside. The more important story for me, of course, and we're going to, are we doing the rundown still? Are we still doing that today, Brendan, the rundown? Yeah, okay, good, okay. I just want to double check.
Let him get ready.
Google, for some reason, guys, this was a real wick that just happened, I believe. It broke 280. Like, I see a lot of volume. Was there just a story on Google or something there? Or is that just that technical break right there of 280? Because all of a sudden, volume picked up like crazy there on Google. It broke through 280, stopped immediately downside. I wonder if that was the Apple news. Like, maybe now because Apple's going to not own...
It's the same timing.
Okay, so that's probably it. Because I was going to say, now if Apple's using other than Gemini,
I can only say it came at the same time. It does make some sense, though. There is some sense to that because the whole idea is the partnership with Google and Apple was going to be a big deal for them. But that 100% came out the same time as that headline.
Okay.
From Adara. So obviously, Alphabet's down 3.5%. That looks like a bad chart, but that ain't it, man. That ain't it, bruh. Meta's down 8%.
Oh, what? Yeah.
I don't know. I just, bruh.
Bro, what's up with that, man?
I meant to type in SMCI, and I keep typing SoFi.
Face slap.
They're not even the same thing. But they begin with an S. SoFi's down 8%. Even what was strong, what was good and pure and green is now red. ARM was like 20, whatever ridiculous number it was yesterday. It double topped, and even this is threatening to lose the bid as we speak. Yeah, it's starting to get a little bit nasty. Deep Tranquility is asking, why is Meta dumping? Look, to think that this is not all about the lawsuit stuff for Meta. Like, you have to think bigger picture here because much like Microsoft, like you lost the trend a while ago. You lost support today. It's part technical. Like, there's a lot of bleeding going on. Tom, any guesses right now? What do you think the forward PE is on Micron?
Micron?
Yes.
Oh boy, I know it wasn't that high to begin with, so I know this move higher because it's a forward PE.
Forward PE.
I'm gonna say it's actually pretty low. I'm gonna go the opposite way. I'm gonna go 19. 9, 8, 6?
6.
Okay. I only thought, I was thinking because of the price. Forward PE. Well, you know why? I mean, they're guiding so
Their
much.
guidance is so out there. I'm not, well, whatever.
Oh, that forward PE would be...
Yeah, whatever, it is what it is. Who am I to say? But let's be real. If, like, this is also a technical breakdown here in Micron. Like, it lost that support level as well. And we were sort of talking about this earlier, how nasty it is. One name that's actually not bad, and we're just letting Sharif get ready here. Netflix chart is not split adjusted. NFLX. Netflix, home of Game 1 last night. If you paid for MLB TV, guess what? You could only watch the game on Netflix if you want to see the Yankees win. The Yankees did not lose.
Yankees win.
But Netflix is winning today. This is breaking back out. This is worth watching this afternoon on some relative strength. Just took out a fresh high. Like, this is going absolutely ham right now on Netflix.
How many wins did the Jays have last year?
I don't remember that.
I'm not trying to throw you under the bus. I don't
remember the regular season.
No, because I think it's only 86.5 this year.
Yeah, that makes
like people are expecting a lot less.
3/5 of the rotation is on.
Yeah, and then I thought it was. I only thought about that because the Yankees. I think a lot of Boston's gotten a lot better, right? And
Baltimore's improved.
And then Baltimore. Yeah, I mean Baltimore had that hot start, didn't they?
But Netflix this is legit.
Damn Google. Is there news about Google?
There's something happening here on Netflix. I think to have this breaking out right now. I know we're
okay. So Apple. The only story to Google right here is what I'm saying. Apple plans to open up Siri, which is awesome for Apple, to rival AI assistants in iOS 27 update. So I just updated last night to 26.4. So it seems like, or whatever it was. So it seems like they're now getting ready to ramp up the pain with Siri Agent. I talk about pain because it's been a painful experience so far with Siri. But if they're going to implement all these different AI, like this is how Apple, like there's just Apple wins. We just talked about Yankees lose. Apple wins because Apple right here does not have to proper English, does not have to put forward all of this money, and they can get people lining up to them now to use their AI agent. They don't have to dump a bunch of money into their own agent there. They just got to get it appropriately used with Siri, implemented is the word I'm looking for. And once they can get that, then sky should be the limit for Apple. But I mean, Google's already using, I mean, if you have a Pixel or whatever, they're going to be using Gemini, and there's lots of love still for Google, but not right now. And just to show you guys, we are now we just said oh, was that real? Well, whether or not it was real or not, which it was, it's going to most likely test that level again. That's 278.40s.
A spike like that. I'm not making I bought some SPY just at these lows while we were waiting.
SPY, okay, good, yeah.
Because it's just everything is falling, and I was planning on a DCA at some point in this quarter. I'm like, well, if you're down 2% here, and this many names are getting smoked, all right.
Yeah, I mean, the overall market, the SPY is down 1.49%. And if you're going to look back, you are, at a decent level. I mean, we were just up here at 670, lost that level. And now you're coming back. Oh, yeah, we will go more. I don't think this move is done. Yeah, you never know. The thing is, do you want to be caught off guard, when and if this war or the Strait of Hormuz ever opens back up again? I think the answer to that is a resounding no. You want to make sure that you are in the market for any good news. I think Scott said it this morning, it's not, he didn't say this exactly, it's not timing the market, time in the market, that's an old saying, but it's more like you got to dip by at some points, especially if you do have a longer term account, right? And so, again, Neil and I just talking about stuff that we believe.
Especially if SoFi still doesn't look like a buy.
Oh my God. Yeah, SoFi, not so good. What is that, 1550 right now? I don't even want to look at it. Okay. I was hoping it wasn't a 15 handle, but it is. Look at that bump up there and right back down. I lost my puke thing.
I got this one, but I lost.
Oh, we have the gates of hell. We also have, I have the red market over here. This one. Yeah, this is like everything turning red. I believe that's what's happening right now.
I don't have any the really bad negative ones anymore.
I mean, I just feel bad, people that buy, look, I own Meta, and Meta's a shit ton in my account. There's no doubt about that. And yeah, down 8% today. This is not necessarily a canary in a coal mine. This is just getting slapped right now. And I was really hoping that 600 would have been something there. It was for a minute, and then today happened. So now you're looking a lot lower in META, fight, Meta. All right, Sharif, this guy's got places to go and people to see. So it's Sharif. You're going to go do the rundown. Let's start it. How about now?
Welcome to the afternoon rundown, everyone. The show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. Neil, Sean, the big boys, as they're known, they're locked, they're loaded, and they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get your tickers on this afternoon rundown is to get into the chat and to vote every single day. But you got to throw in that $ before you vote. Let's look at all four major averages, and they are all decidedly red. The triple Qs here down over 2%, the worst of the bunch. The SPY faring a little bit better, down 1.5%. The Dow, the DIA, faring the best of all four here. Major average ETFs down 0.91, and the IWM Russell 2000 ETF down a little bit more than 1.5%. The first ticker, though, as decided by you guys, is TSLA, also decidedly negative, down 2.8%. Here are some of the headlines today for Tesla. They published their consensus Q1 delivery estimate of 365,645 vehicles. The consensus for total deliveries for 2026 will be 1.69 million vehicles. In 2027, they see that to be 1.88. 2028, 2.13. 2029, 2.61 million. And lastly, by 2030, they expect to be selling over 3 million vehicles per year. There's also the SpaceX IPO, which is, definitely increasing interest in Elon Musk-related stocks. They also released a new supercharger yesterday, and RBC today maintained Tesla with an outperform rating and a target of $500. Last but not least, an official from the California regulator telling Electric that Tesla is not operating a robotaxi in California. We know, of course, that they have been operating a pseudo-autonomous vehicle ride-hailing robotaxi in the San Francisco area, but not calling it that because they don't have the regulatory permissions. Guys, Tesla.
Yikes. You know what? In some ways, Tesla, it could be a heck of a lot worse here. I think that's probably the only way to even think about it. I just feel like if you look at anything, any big cap tech stock, whatever rank Meta was, Tesla apparently passed it today. So.
Whatever rank. Oh, in the market caps?
Yeah, that's
Really?
well. That's what was getting
Wait a minute.
said.
What'd you say? Meta passed-
double checked.
What'd you
Tesla
say?
passed. Well, it should.
No, I don't think so.
That's what was getting said
Okay.
in the midday, which I was surprised by. But either way, you're down 3 points today, which seems like a victory lap if you're a Mag 7 name. Like down 2.7 today gets you like you're in the driver's seat. Like I think Apple is probably the best in the Mag 7, and then 2.7. This might be the second best. Terrible, terrible, and more terrible. The good news is it hasn't really fallen apart under this 376 support level, but that's more of like it hasn't done it yet. There's just not much that seems like it's going to give us a bit of a bounce. Also, this whole SpaceX, and then everyone's getting hyped about SpaceX, which is still going to be weeks and months away. Like, what is that even doing for? This doesn't mean anything for Tesla. They don't own that much, and at no point has any of that been giving Tesla a boost. So I think you're running the threat here of having a bad moment, which I still think in Tesla it's not that bad. Oh goodness, I still have that Rivian chart up. It's like woo-saw when you look at some of these other charts on a higher time frame. No, I still feel like Tesla, if we lose here on the weekly chart, another close above the 50 on the weekly, and we're headed down into this 280 to 300. Like that's where, for me, Tesla becomes a buy down there again. If we start having a moment in Tesla, like we're already having in Microsoft, like we're already having in Meta, I think that's a very reasonable spot for it to go. And it's not about valuation or anything like this, and it's not about not believing or not believing in the company. I do believe in autonomous, and I absolutely do believe in Optimus as well. But
because you are an optimist. Yeah, no, I think so too. I'm an optimist too for that. But of course we're talking about Optimus Prime and Optimus with as far as Tesla robot, right? I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of different robots as well. Like I mean, we saw some good ones coming out of China. Had some hot ones as well. Did you guys see the one that walked out with Melania Trump? Was that a Tesla one?
no, I don't know what that was.
That was a DJT one, maybe the truth, over there.
DJT robots?
I know, it was funny when she walked out with it. It's like she started walking like the same pace as it. She had to slow down, and that was hilarious. But anyways, yeah, I mean, so I just asked Google here. I actually used Google for this. I did not use, I mean, it's going to spit out the Gemini answer anyways, but I actually used the search engine for this, and I searched out what was the largest market cap. And I said use today's date, use today's date as information, but that's why I'm saying roughly. So yeah, NVIDIA, Apple, Alphabet. Anyways, as we go down here, yeah, it looks like based on, this is before, I guess, or including today, yeah, they're right around the same, man. 1.37 trillion to 1.5, 1.3 to 1.4. Give Tesla only down 3 or 4%, Meta down 8. That will definitely flip those up. And then you got Berkshire and Walmart. Walmart's almost, I guess Walmart was at, we celebrated. Yeah, I remember we celebrated that day that it did hit the $1 trillion mark. But these are, wow, America, right? I mean, if there's anything to say here, all these companies, right, all strong American businesses that started in America, all founder-led American businesses. Now they're not founder-led anymore. I mean, obviously we know Apple, NVIDIA is Sergey Brin and everybody with Alphabet. Microsoft's had a few different people involved with it. Jeff Bezos, obviously there as well. Broadcom, Meta, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, definitely, obviously still founder-led. And then Berkshire, dude just left. And then Walmart. What were they? The
Waltons.
Waltons. I was going to say Walmart.
Waltons. I think it's weird. Like it sounds like Waltons. Mm-hmm. I know I say Waltons.
So shout out there to strong U.S. companies and keep them that way. President Trump, and that's part of the not giving all this data and all this power to China there and keeping some of those NVIDIA chips localized there. Okay. Next stock
is
Katina, man, we got to talk about this guy first. You mentioned him. This is Figure AI, and this is called the Figure 3. Here are the deets. He's standing at a gargantuan 5'8", can carry about 20 kilograms. He weighs 21 kilograms, 5 hours of runtime. And look at this, the speed. They even have the speed there, 1.2 meters per second. And he, of course, he is electric. Figure AI is the company coming out with this guy yesterday. He was with Melania Trump, in front of Melania Trump at the White House yesterday. Let's talk about the next one here, UGRO. Did I get that right? URGO. UGRO. UGRO. I'm not going crazy. Anyway, this one was moving up yesterday. A big move up yesterday after it announced they're strategically positioned to capture growth with T20 cricket franchise valuations now exceeding $1.6 billion and global media expansion accelerating, guys. Not much of a move today, though, on UGRO.
It's funny that we can call it down 17%, and really it's a stone's throw from what it did. You know what? That said, we've seen this before where you think it's the unwind day, and look, halt fest, like you have liquidity to halt fest to liquidity to like when it goes parabolic. So when you start looking at some of the price areas, and you can't really, like using levels on this when it, whatever, it blows through levels. You can look at key price areas because it's probably more of a swing and a wide stop kind of stock anyways. So when you have these kind of consolidative levels in here, you sort of work around those price areas. And the fact that it's holding, doing 8 million shares of volume on day 2 and holding this level, I think that's a pretty good, bad sign for the shorts, and a pretty good sign for the stock. You do, of course, always have to worry about things like offering when it comes to URGO. But a hold of this area, call it between 25 and 30, so just around here, if that's able to close above today, and hold this tomorrow, you could see a second salvo. You always worry about the overnight. Like that was sort of the problem. It was great in the aftermarket, but good luck if you held that one from those. They hit like $50-something. I didn't really see it at 4 a.m., but that's the problem. You could have an offering, you could have that big gap, so swinging it overnight is obviously a big concern. But this is not as bad of a day 2 as it seems. Relative to market weakness, like relative to the fact that it could be at $13 and no one would bat an eye. It's holding out pretty well.
Yeah, UGRO there. I just want to check back in. Okay, so just to give you guys an update here, Google has bounced off of, you know, some of those lows. We didn't get exactly into that 278 again, but it does bounce off clean off of 279, and right now looking like it wants to help this 25 period get to the downside. We haven't been back up to the 50 period moving average yet, but Google's still down that 3% on a story that Apple is now looking at or will be using, you know, third-party, you know, chatbots into their Siri, not just Gemini there. So Apple got going early, doesn't seem to be doing too much on that news for Apple itself, but you definitely see the story that we're talking about with that. So there it goes. Let's go back over to Sharif and figure out what story number 3 is.
EEIQ, guys, Epic Quest, big move up today, over 200%, and then some, driven by strong speculative activity and sudden investor interest. It traded well above 200% and above the 200-day moving average, guys. The company provides education solutions for students who are pursuing degrees in the U.S., Canada, and the UK, EEIQ.
So just one quick note here, like
Market's coming back.
Netflix is all over the place. Apology for this trade.
I thought there was some sort of story because Netflix had popped there.
Like it popped $3, it just dropped $1.50, so this one's kind of going crazy. I haven't really seen anything specific, so EC, yeah, we'll get to the next name. EEIQ, I mean, Elite, oh sorry, Epic Quest. It is, yeah. Epic Quest. I'm very surprised by this one because this one felt like it should have been dead after the open. It did that whole thing where you run at the open, you halt down, looks like it's going to break VWAP, and then it doesn't. Someone supports the heck out of $7, but it's making distinct lower highs. There's a lot about this that feels like it's on the back end of the trade, despite the fact that it's over VWAP though.
Oh, increase in prices.
Is that what they're doing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so Netflix increasing prices.
Report of them increasing prices.
Yeah, key on the 7 level here. If it holds over 7,
I might go long Apple here.
Pretty good. But yeah, volume's really dwindling. There's a lot of signs that this is on the back end, to be real with you. I haven't checked it for locate. It's probably not worth paying for them. I feel like there's going to be some volatility maybe for some like reversal plays anyways this afternoon. But EIQ, check out the 7.
You might have just heard me mention that. I think I'm going to try to go long some Apple right here. We've maybe found a bottom there at around 250, 350. So I just put a bid in and we just missed it, man. 74s. Hopefully that does fall back in right now. I mean, the market is absolutely puking right now. We might as well take another fill down here in the 50s if we can get it. I just put a 55 out there. Hopefully we'll get that as it makes its way through. But yeah, just not good, man, to the market downside. Still bleeding, down 2.13%. You know, really happy that we're able to grab this short today, but I am trying to go long, just to give you guys an update. I'm going to try to go long on Apple right in and around this area. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. Let's go back over to Sharif.
All right, Meta's next, and it's down 8.5%. Fears are starting to, surface here about the verdict, opening the door to a deluge of lawsuits. Meta basically with 2 major lawsuits yesterday. One about harm to teens, and the other one about algorithmic addictions, guys. Couple of major lawsuits here that could imply for many different social media companies, but Meta taking the brunt of it today, down 8.5.
This is the most broken chart today out of the mags, and just in terms of where it's gone. I'll go to the weekly because, like, let's be real, when you get days like today or moments like now, like, you really start to look at the real higher time frame. Like, I'm not talking about the daily chart. I'm talking like weeklies and monthlies, and you can start to see. Do I have this drawing tool up here just to make it really easy for you? I don't. I just clicked it. So if you kind of look at all of the big dips in Meta, like on a weekly chart, like bang, 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 and right here, right now, you've got this long support. It's going back to 2024. So it kind of got like this breakout here through $400. And then since then, all of the pullbacks have held the same line. What do you think happens when you cross this line? Nothing good. Nothing good. Like, this is not like an anchored. Like, you could also probably throw up an anchored from that breakout, but I'm just showing you where the dip buying has come in, and it's on that trend line support. So if you lose this and Meta on the weekly, 200 SMA. You can talk about, like, as far as I'm concerned, it'll be somewhere in the low teens. It'll be somewhere in the low to mid teens of a PE if it gets down there, barring a disaster quarter. And I think that's, again, if we're talking about correction, this is what happens, and this is what could come in. This is probably the most broken chart in the Mag 7. This or Microsoft. You can make an argument either way. But I do think you're on the precipice. And of course, it's a weekly chart. Like, drawing this line doesn't mean you go buy this on a day trade. It just means if it closes underneath on a week, that's a problem. So we still have tomorrow for this to be able to show support at this level. And every time it's bounced off here, this is like you could have it the next week, no problem. Here you had 3 weeks to be able to play that low. You had 3 or 4 weeks to be able to play that low. Usually when you're at a significant level on a weekly chart, it's not like you have to buy the dip that day.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, even just today, like, when you saw that story come through, I mean, even yesterday, right, this blue line is VWAP, so we never really got above it at all. And then even this morning, it gave us opportunities to short it at VWAP. So whenever you hear negative stories, we should probably be looking to say, hey, does the market really want to go over or under today? And today was probably an easy day to say under. And you would not have, look, I'm short the Qs, so it's fine. But, we had sensed today was a risk-off day and just didn't really think that Meta was going to be down to almost 10%, which it may still get down to. And yeah, just no stop, right? No stopping. This is why we put down these lines, to try to make sure to capture momentum and things like that. This 50-period moving average is something that's never been broken all day. You had a little bit of a spike there, maybe at 130, that could have broke that. But, it didn't scare you out of the trade, I wouldn't think. But yeah, this is just like a VWAP. VWAP's nowhere near now. Just watch out for this 50-period. I think a clean break of that, maybe we go back upside. So if I zoom back in after showing you guys that, I think you want to break that for sure. And then, yeah, getting above here is not horrible. Like, there's a little bit of a break, but then we didn't take out the previous high. So if you break that right there, you're actually just kind of looking to see if you could take out this 547. So that would be an area there where I think you could probably push the long. I think a safer one would be right here, 548. So I think if you wait, be patient with this stock here this afternoon, and maybe you take a 548 break and then use 547 as maybe your stop. Give yourself $1 worth of room in case Meta gets going. But I don't really envision this as being a bang-up trade today. So being patient with Meta, I think, will help. But that would be where I'd be looking for a long. Otherwise, let's wait till tomorrow and see if that line breaks there that Neil was mentioning. So being patient with Meta, I think, is what's going to be the answer here.
All right, last one, guys. More on the Apple story here. So Apple plans to open its Siri voice assistant to rival artificial intelligence services beyond the current partnership with ChatGPT. Bloomberg reported today the move is expected as part of Apple's iOS 27 update. They would allow third-party AI apps to integrate directly with Siri, which would enable the user to route queries to searches such as Gemini, Claude, all within the assistant itself. Apple's also developing tools to let chatbot apps installed via its App Store work directly with Siri, as well as other features under the Apple Intelligence platform. The overhaul could also help Apple generate more revenue by taking a share of the subscriptions that are sold through these third-party AI services. Apple's expected to preview the new software features at WWDC in June, boys.
This is, I mean, I just tried to get long Apple, 40, 50 cents ago and missed it. Was noticing it on this break. I put a 74 in, didn't get it in upside right now. I just wish we would have punched into it. I think it's saying something, as Neil just talked about broken charts. Like, I think it's saying something here. This is not your boulevard of broken dreams or anything, but you are getting a move down in Apple there today. And I think it's going to be bought up. I like this for Apple. I mean, in the day that the Nasdaq's down 2%, I think we're all wait for, and there's a super chat up there. I don't know if you want to put it up. I think it's something very similar to what I think about Apple. And that is that, in a downside market, we want to look to things that are potentially safe. And right now we don't have too many negative stories about Apple or Netflix. So this is the story here that you're saying maybe potentially, and shout out to you, son of Daniel Cheese Tycoon. I mean, this guy's made a lot of money in the cheese business. So if anything, maybe he would know something about Netflix. But
I see the connection.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, basically, that is not a bad opportunity there with Netflix, with their story behind them, sitting on a boatload of cash. They could be sort of immune from any of this oil and this wartime kind of talk, right?
Apple gets a pass. Apple gets a pass on the AI bubble stuff to a certain extent, relative to its peers. It's all about relativity. It's relative to Meta. It's relative to Google. It's relative to Microsoft. At this point, when you're looking at that group, it looks good. And then when you look at Netflix, well, Netflix was the tariff tantrum safe haven. It's like, well, AI. What is AI really going to do for Netflix? I don't know. Someone explain to me how it isn't going to possibly make it easier for them or cheaper for them to create content. I just feel as if all you do is pump out content, shouldn't it eventually, in the short and medium run, somehow make it cheaper? So I like that for Netflix. I know we're talking about Apple. Apple looks healthy. I actually don't think this chart's bad on the 15-minute. I think the daily chart actually looks pretty good. What are those? Oh yeah, sorry. Look at see these wicks. You haven't actually gone under 247. So really, you've held the line here. So it's still got all of its support. All that support that's being broken on Meta and Microsoft and all these other stocks, that's being held on Apple, and it's still putting in that higher low. So you also like the fact that it's trying to go into a consolidation zone and turn around. It looks relatively strong. That can change. We're not going to keep snapping off 2% down days, and just because it's relatively strong today, it's relatively strong tomorrow. If we get another 2% down day, I don't expect Apple to beat green. At some point, you conform. That's just how it works out. You can't have these too many in a row. For now, it looks pretty good. There's another name, I know we're past the rundown, that I got the eyeballs on. So ARM is...
They got one more rundown, I think.
Oh, we do? Oh, she's gone.
Oh, he's gone. Okay.
I thought I only counted 4.
I thought there was only 4.
There were 5. There were for sure 5.
Okay. Oh, Sharif just told me he's got to go to the gym.
Yeah, that's fine. So ARM had one dip before we made the fresh high, and it was right into 154. So it's this support in here, 54, 55. ARM obviously a rocket ship the last couple of sessions. Looking for this to break the trend. As long as it holds on to 154, just looking for a bit of a trend break. I mean, I can put a line on the chart, but this is the kind of afternoon that it's not even required to put a line on most of these charts to see a trend breaking. Golf franchise, you think going long here on this pullback sounds good in MTZ?
MTZ.
Like, there's going to be a lot of technical, this is down, blah, blah, blah. Like, does it look very good? Like, this is an example of something where you're observing a normal trend that it's putting on, right? Like, there's the 50 period. I love the 50 period. But you're probably talking about this. I'm going to make some assumptions here because I don't know. So if you're looking at this trend line, it's bouncing off the trend line. This is a daily chart. So, like, you can make the argument that, yes, it can bounce off these bottoms. But look at this bounce. That's a close at the low. And then the following day, you had to have it wick 10, 15 bucks against you, and then it rallied. Like, close at the low, rally the next day. This is the only one where you got an intraday bounce here off of the low. You got a couple where it's an intraday bounce. But all of the heavy red days, it seemingly bounces the day after because it's a daily chart that has that pattern. And that's why you'll see me look at the 15-minute chart for day trades. But on a daily chart, you're kind of, like, you're more looking for continuation and trend and maybe where to do some swing trading on. So I think that's a different time frame. It's only done 500,000 shares, so it's probably not a day trade anyways. It's just the pattern hasn't been, usually it's available the next day. Why do you have to sit there holding it overnight if most of the times it's bounced off that trend line, you can catch it the next morning, is what the chart's telling you. Adara?
We've already had some interesting CEO succession stories this year, most notably Disney and, of course, PayPal with its CEO switcheroo. Latest one could be OXY, Occidental, seeing reports that Vicky Holub, CEO of Occidental Petroleum, set to announce later this year that she'll be retiring. Current COO of Occidental, Richard Jackson, is seen as the likely successor. Again, OXY did get a little bit of a spike here, as we hear there could be, very soon, the retirement of its CEO. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Adara there. I did a quick calculation here. I don't know what it is per gallon where you guys are, but here it's 179 or so, or 175 a liter, depending on where you're going. I threw that into Gemini. That's $4.90 a gallon right now here in Ontario, or Toronto anyways. I don't know where everywhere else it is, but $4.90 a gallon right now. It's a two-eye. So I just wanted to, you guys know I'm trying to get some Apple long right into here. We will be momentarily going over to Steve Tileman from Trade the Pool. I'll get some, Q&A for him. When he comes on, you guys can put it in the chat. We'll ask him some questions that you guys are concerned with, and he would be, I'm assuming, more than happy to answer those. So shout out to you, Steve. Thank you for waiting for us here. I just wanted to say I'm getting out of the TQs. This is the Nasdaq, of course. If we break this most recent high, sort of, and it's not even, it's funny to say a high, but right in there, 41.85. So I had already sort of talked about this trade. We're short from the morning here on the Nasdaq, and I choose you, TQs, as my weapon of choice. And, we made some lows there. We started to cover right now, so that's good. We hadn't broke. We talked about sort of the 50-period moving average. We did get that little break at noon, and we did get it again a little bit at 1 o'clock there. But if we break it consistent and break through this top level of 41.85, that will signal, get out of here for that trade for me. So if that does come in, I'm out of there on the T triple Qs if that comes in. And then just another trade that I'm working on. Wish we had it, but we don't. And that's, oh no, now it's 70 cents higher. Apple tried to buy that dip, right? I mean, it came in. It was a relatively strong name. Now, I'm not buying it because I think the Nasdaq is going higher. I just showed you I'm covering a little bit now in the Nasdaq. It's only we're in the last hour, about basically power hour now, ahead of the imbalances. And we didn't get to view up there, but I'm still going to try this. If it comes in, we'll buy the 70s, then we'll buy the 50s, and if we lose the day low, well, this low here, then we will be out of Apple. All right, anything you want to add before we go over to Steve?
As I was looking for things to trail to trend break, I have another chart missing some data here. It's mine. SoFi already broke it. It did fail the last time it broke this trend, but I do like the momentum going into it. So it's the same usual. There's your close above the trend line. So give it to the prior bar, which will be a relatively tight stop. But let's go bring him in right now. We've got Steve Tileman. How you do? It's been a minute. So welcome back. How are you surviving this crazy day, Steve?
It's great to be back. It's great to see you guys. What do you mean surviving? I'm thriving over here.
Nice.
Good, man. Yeah. I noticed you got. I think you're surviving by not getting haircuts. I mean, I like that. I like that move over there, man. I wish I could grow that little coif over there. How's it going? How long has it been? I feel like it's a different style than last time, or?
A little bit. It's funny. I actually got this cut for this show. I can't.
There we go.
Caveman, come on. This is the big leagues.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. Normally you're wearing the hat. We gave you a shit last time for wearing the Yankees hat, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yes, we had that conversation.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah. So you're thriving. So, okay, if you're thriving, I don't know if you saw, I had that TQ short on, so we're thriving as well. We've got the shorts on today. And I posted up today, Steve, on the note here, that it was a risk-off day. I mean, we started short. Every single idea I have on here, IBIT short, SLV short, which TQ short, SoFi short, printing today. What can you tell everybody about how you start your day? Were you looking short today? Was there something that sort of maybe tipped you off? How's your day been, and what are you looking at?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. So I always start my day by defining my bias. I need to look at higher time frame levels. I need to basically work my way down and figure out where I think the market's going. So ever since we've lost our key pivots, our key 200-day moving average, everything's been getting lost. So I'm in sell the rip mode until proven otherwise. So my bias is just by default down until I have a reason otherwise. We did play some long side the past couple days because we were getting these big pops, but primarily just scalping and just looking for these pivots to keep holding short. So we are waiting for a pop into a low volume node and then fading that back down to the high volume node. That's how I've been making my money the past couple weeks. And this morning in particular, it gave us a really nice look. Let's go into a 5-minute here. Give us a really nice look here on SPY. So for my system, essentially, I swung puts overnight because it was just looking real weak, especially started to bounce all over here. Going to an hourly oscillator from yesterday, it was just in sweep down mode, despite SPY kind of holding. So we swung puts, and then this morning I was figuring we need to have some bounce, and I'd really like to see that bounce come up to my weekly trigger, which is this just stair step down. So there's a few other levels. There's a cam pivot up there. And between the two, this was the range I was looking for to fail. So now getting in a little bit deeper here, we had a potential ascending triangle, but it wasn't acting right. And when I say it wasn't acting right, the thing I was really looking at was this kind of curved top action. It just couldn't really get traction. And this was the candle where, yeah, we hammered short in my server because it looked like it was breaking out and it closed here. And that's all she wrote, right? Whenever you get those reversals into a key pivot range, and the last part of my system is I'm looking for this to happen about 45 or half an hour to 45 minutes, maybe to an hour after the open. So for me, it was an A+ setup day.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, so what would have to change then? Like, for you to, you said, you're going to be short until the system fails you. Like, what's going to have to change? Because right now you're down another 2%. So I'm assuming that tomorrow when we come in, none of those levels that you just showed will be around, right? We're going to have to base a new decision on what we see maybe in the pre-market tomorrow. Is there a key level that you're looking at where maybe you'll start to turn bullish?
It's hard for me to say yes, there is. So let's pull back a little bit to a weekly, and I can walk you through how I'm feeling here.
Okay.
We have a visitor. Sorry, my cat just creeped in. So what we're seeing here is a large potential channel that is potentially rejecting the top. That's what I'm thinking we're seeing. I'm going to zoom in a little bit and show you three squeeze patterns that failed. So we had this first one. This was all the way back in 2021. And when this failed, this ledge, it needed to have the 2022 washout. Going to the next time we've got this kind of pattern, this tightening, washout. This was the April tariffs, tariff tantrum rally. I've been following the same pattern for a couple months here. I'm not going to lie, I was bullish up here, but then it stopped acting right. Just like that 1 minute pattern progression that we saw this morning, same kind of thing here. And you know what? For me, I'm a big overlayer guy. So if I'm looking for worst case scenarios, this could get a lot worse, to be completely honest. This is an overlay of what we did the last time we were under the 200-day moving average.
Okay.
If we cannot hold pretty soon, I think that we need to make a move down to 600. That's my first level where I'm looking for big buyers. And if we get down to the taco tariff rally retest zone down here at 550 to 575, I'm selling a kidney. We're going all in.
All right, don't sell the cat over there. But so we're looking for at least another 7% down, I guess, to get into that 600 area or so. And then after that, we look lower. We had Scott Redler on from T3 earlier, and he had mentioned some similar sort of buy zones as well. So you've got that. And I really love that overlay look. I mean, I think that's pretty cool because the market obviously does have memory about some of those. Is there any longs you took today, or was SPY? You mentioned, you talked about that break and that got you short into the SPY. Was there anything long today? I mean, we were looking at ARM maybe with some good news earlier in the week. Faded off a little bit there today.
It was oil.
Oil, yeah. Were you going long anything today, or are we just looking at the SPY?
I had to check my broker. I honestly wasn't sure. My only long trade today was an add to a previous position. And like you mentioned, this is a nat gas name. This is Next, N-E-X-T. So this one, we've been watching the past couple weeks. These have been our primary hedge. I sold my oil too early. So I was like, I need something. I need something here. I sold my oil leverage too early. Yeah. So I was using VG for this natural gas exporting kind of angle. So we've been loading up in here, pushing off. These are solid breakouts that look like they can keep going as long as the conflict keeps going. So I'm following that trend into the next play that was setting up here in NEXT. Same deal, loading in this consolidation, and we got the breakout. So I did add my trims back today because we got a really nice pop in the morning to the $8 level, and that was my take profit level. So then we came back down and I saw us holding pre-market. So I did buy a little bit of, I just rebought the last tranche of calls there, 8 calls for April, just little asymmetric risk upside kind of hedges there for the oil trade.
Question for you, Steve, with regards to, I mean, obviously you're talking some oil and energy names and nat gas and that type of thing. How does your perspective change when we go into a weekend? Do you have any hesitation adding as we round out the end of the week with the whole, sometimes you feel when we're in a geopolitical environment like this that there's a little bit of extra risk carrying things for the extra few days. Do you do any trimming necessarily on a Friday, or maybe hesitate to add on a Friday? Or do you just not care? You're riding a longer term trend at all? Because I know there's always this, it's already bad enough anything can happen overnight, let alone, you have to sort of suffer through Saturday, Sunday.
Well, that's a great question. And yeah, it definitely changes my perspective, how I'm looking to hold a trade into a weekend, especially in this kind of geopolitical environment. So Trump's been very clear with his unwillingness to scare the market more than he needs to. It's clear that, he's listening to the market. This means that a lot of military action happens over the weekend and tries to get wrapped up by the time futures open. Then he pops out a nice tweet right at, 6 o'clock on Sunday. And then we're hopefully, getting a nice move up. So in general, this is how I'm looking at it. I have to just think in bets here. So my long hedges, they keep doubling. And I keep getting stopped out of other things. I'm not saying I'm, killing it on everything, but the things that are working keep working. So I'm going to keep putting that risk on over the weekend until it stops working. And I was telling my server, I can't wait for my puts to get killed, because when those last rounds of puts finally get taken out, I've been, just nibbling, DCAing things that I actually believe in. So then those get to move up and we get to make some easy money and not this hard money. So I'm waiting for that me to be wrong on the weekend. But for me, it's worth having that hedge on until we see any resolution, because this conflict can keep going. And I'm not buying what Trump's saying.
It's difficult to say with certainty about comments from either side at this point. It's just, okay, well, if it worked yesterday, then keep doing it today. It's been working for a lot of people. We got a question yesterday that I think we actually forgot to answer this, but it's not always something that comes up for myself and Sean, because we don't really swing trade. And that's this whole differentiation between, if you got something that's a day trade and a swing trade, how to separate those brains, or when you have a bigger, even the other way around, if you have this high volatility environment, if you're a swing trader, you might have things that you get in and you're expecting it's going to be a week, and you're in it, and all of a sudden it's already hitting your targets, 3 hours later, which is not normal for you. So how do you navigate that extra volatility as a swing trader? Do you adjust anything? Will you hold for more even if it hits your first target and it's happened faster than you think? You're like, oh, well, then I don't need to take anything out because it's still intraday. Or do you just sort of stick to your natural plan, and if it trades end up in a shorter duration, so be it?
That's a great question. So I think you really hit the nail on the head when you mentioned, hey, I'm a swing trader, but my target just got hit in 3 hours with this volatility. the volatility speeds up the moves on both sides of the tape, and it always catches people off guard how fast these moves go from one end of the range to the other, right? So it's so easy to say, wow, this is working amazingly. You feel like it's working better than anticipated, so you should hold it for longer. But in reality, it hit the target, and yes, it could always keep going, but just historically, the amount of times I've felt that psychology, that psychological pull of, oh wow, it's working so well, I should hold it. If it hits the target, historically, I should be taking profit, and that's the rule. In general, though, with these intradays, for example, if I'm in a swing trade, I get in at just the right time and it starts going crazy on me. Well, I feel obligated to walk away from this day with something in my pocket, even if the move reverses violently. So as it goes through my target, if it surges through that target, I'm putting a stop under that target, under that big surge through, so that, hey, if we want to squeeze, all right, I'm in for the ride. I'll sell when there's some weakness. But until then, I just don't want to. I don't want to cut myself out of the trade too soon. But at the same time, with this high volatility, you can get a major move up, and you're so sure the trade's going to go for the next week and hit your big target. So you hold through a little bit of red that turns into a lot of red very quickly, and that's what I'm trying to avoid.
All right, Steve, we're gonna let you go soon here, but I'm not gonna let you go without picking your brain for one more thing, because you said that you don't mind getting stopped out of all your puts because you've been nibbling on a few things. So people in our chat want to know, what is, maybe one idea that you're sort of nibbling on here for if we do get, sort of some sort of a resolution and we can, get back to the promised land here as far as these markets are concerned. Give us a name or give us something, a symbol of some sort. It could be, commodity, whatever you're looking at. What are you nibbling on right here for that moment that we're all waiting for?
Man, that's a great question. Just one is tough. I really, this is my recent pickup that is it's really impressing me with the relative strength. This is ACAM. What is it? Akami, I believe. Yeah, Akami Technologies. I need to do more research though. I don't exactly understand how they fit into the agentic AI supply chain here, but it seems to be that they are a benefactor from this whole Claude Code agentic skills or agents type phenomenon that we're seeing in the tech space. So this is my way of playing this. It started as a technical play, and then I realized what they do, and I'm like, wow, this is a hot setup. So I think this is a long-term swing, and if it's this strong in red tape, just wait until we get some bulls in the market. This is my number one pick.
Good look there. I could tell you about Marvell, but then it would just sound crazy because that's all I tell everybody. But okay, we'll look at Akamai. We'll check that out in the coming weeks and months. And when we have you back on, we'll double check that stock, AKAM. Steve Tileman from Trade the Pool. Anything you want to talk about with Trade the Pool? You going live soon? Any streams coming up?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So I am now full-time with Trade the Pool. You can catch me every single day, Monday through Thursday, for Power Hour. So I'm always there live for Power Hour. We're also starting a lot of content intraday. So we're going to be doing lunch streams. I'm doing kind of a laid-back hangout while there's lower volatility in this midday area. And let's plan our trades. Let's talk about what we did in the morning. Let's think about what we're doing to prep for tomorrow, and kind of just touch base and chill out, because it's stressful in the morning and the afternoon. So we're doing all that, and my Discord server's it's been growing pretty rapidly. So I'd love to have anybody who wants to come on in. You can find that link right in my Twitter bio, and that's Steve Tileman, SteveTilemann, 2 N's. Thank you so much, guys. It's great to be back.
Perfect. Thank you, Steve. We'll have you back very, very soon. Thank you, Steve Tileman from Trade the Pool. There it is. Another guest. We have Brian Shannon. We have Scott Redler. We got Steve Tileman. We got Michael Noss. We've got just murderers row.
We're giving it
right here. No matter what your style is, hopefully one of those guys matches with you. And I like all that. And now he's gonna go tell everybody about Marvell. So watch out.
Another name that Steve mentioned, Akamai. I saw in the chat, and rightfully so. Don't load. No, won't look good today. Frankly, what does? It's out of Netflix. Fastly. This has been like 3 steps up, 1 step down for a while now over on FSLY. So you're looking at few things that are actually in upward trends. Again, sometimes you don't even need to draw the line, and obviously this could pull back, and this could pull back 10% and still be on the trend. So it's worth watching. This is 100% in play tomorrow if we get a continuation for the 2750 level on Fastly. Double bottom on the week and a prior resistance level. It's got some trend line support for the buy the dip. At least, It's so much easier in this environment when we have days like this to, instead of looking at the falling knife, which I understand is always very, very popular, to look for what is the falling knife, to see what's in a general uptrend and then maybe try to join that trend. Because it better be at a really good support level for you to like it more than something which is still trending strongly here. And obviously Akamai is pretty good and Fastly is doing pretty well as well. One that is not, though it is working on a bit of a trend break, was SoFi. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I stopped the short too early on SoFi. We're short it most of the day, and then it bounced off the target, which was like $16. So you make the strong argument that I wasn't sitting at the desk. It's not an excuse, it's just the truth. When this popped right back in to about 16 change and reversed, that 100% would normally be a re-entry, but I wasn't sitting here when it happened. But now looking at this bit of a trend break back into the upside, I'll give it a relatively tight stop here because you made your ducats short today. You don't want to give it up in the afternoon long, but just giving it a chance. And by the way, VWAP's going to be off on a few of my charts. Like here's actually no, VWAP's actually the same. Like even though we're missing some data on that chart, my black chart's just fine. Looking for the push back into the volume weighted average price here. For SoFi, I see ARM made an effort to try to get going. If you're thinking about oil possibly giving us a reason why the market could bounce, here's the issue with that. And I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but USO has already pulled all the way back into VWAP, right? Like it gave up a whole percentage point. What did the Nasdaq do with that?
Power hour.
Not much. Like in the entire time we saw that finally we get this pullback after just trending upside here. We get that pullback and we don't do anything with that bounce. We essentially go sideways. So if we start seeing an acceleration back to the highs in crude oil, you got to start thinking about, okay, well, what am I going to short the pops in? My first thought is it'll be, I'm eyeballing Bitcoin. Just because that was another one this morning off of VWAP, and that's starting to trend back higher. The target was 39. Don't at me. It is what it is. It was VWAP to 39 even. Yesterday, that worked out a lot better. Like yesterday, the VWAP to the even dollar, and that was the low. Today, it seemed like that was the right call. And right before we came on air, that changed in a big way for the afternoon. So yeah, this is the one I'm looking for to maybe fade. But keep an eye. USO is starting to creep back up again. So oil bouncing off the volume weighted average price, it gets back to the highs. It's going to be bad for the market. I'd love for this to press back into 39, but wherever it curls, I'm going to jump into this one to the south side. Adair, what do you got?
I'm just seeing a story here that we're going to be getting an increased investment potentially here for Meta for this data center. I was just looking this up. Apparently, prior they were going to be investing over $1.5 billion in an El Paso, Texas data center. Now I'm seeing reports that they've raised that commitment to $10 billion. So more than 5 times what the investment was previously going to be. META on watch. Again, very unlikely that a story, especially of this magnitude, can really help Meta at this point. But again, El Paso data center commitment investment here going from $1.5 billion to $10 billion, according to this report. Back to you.
All right, everybody, volatility creates movement, and for sophisticated traders, movement creates opportunity. Beta Pro by Global X offers Canada's first and longest running suite of levered and inverse levered ETFs built for sophisticated investors who understand the risks of leverage and the importance of precision. Its triple levered bull and bear ETFs are tied to the Nasdaq 100, similar to the TQQs here. They are designed for daily tactical trades, providing amplified daily exposure and giving traders tools to engage with both upward momentum and market pullbacks. These strategies are currency hedge, seeking to offset US dollar exposure back to the Canadian dollar. For those navigating short-term market moves, both up and down, Beta Pro offers the flexibility to act with conviction, whatever that looks like for your individual strategy, objectives, and risk profiles. Please trade tactically and, of course, learn more at betapro.ca. We want to thank them for sponsoring this segment. I just wanted to look, I mean, that was an interesting story there from Meta, and bless you, it came right into our level again right here on Meta. We talked about this 348 break. It does not. Remember we said, if you want to break 347, that might be something, and that would have given you $1, but then it stopped basically on a dime. I see the high, not on a dime, I guess on a quarter. I see that stop right there but right at these levels. So we did not break through for 548.25. So that's kind of where we want to look at, I think, now for Meta long. I may take this. I think it's oversold, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a long. I mean, we could be oversold and bounce tomorrow. There may not be a bounce today, but that would be a level that I'm looking at. And I think if you were short, consider 428.25 as you're out. And, you know, we were lucky enough to go money. And whoever created that annoying GIF there has become legendary because now that's all we spin. Yeah, so I got another piece out right there. It's now coming back in. I thought I did. It doesn't look like I have it, but I should have a bid in and around that area. So I'm going to just hold out hope that we can get another bid around this 60 area, which it's there right now. And then honestly, like I'm getting lighter and lighter, as you guys can imagine. I mean, we don't want to hold too much here into the close. There could be a little bit of a bounce back today. I don't want to say to everybody like, yo, hold your shorts or whatever. It's up to you. But you could see clearing out near these lows. As we had just mentioned, it's now 305. You know, trades could get a lot worse into the close. We have Adara here, so she's going to tell us, you know, if there is any breaking news that winds up hitting. But for right now, oil's closed at 230, so that's not really doing too much. Oops, it's the K contract, not the M contract. Right there, so you see a volume spike at 230. You're now in the aftermarkets for them, bouncing off VWAP pretty clean. Wow, what a good trade that was right there. And I was talking with Chris there in the back, and he was mentioning to me about trading oil this morning. And I said it's a tough one to trade because, you know, either you're using technicals, which is one thing, and it looks like VWAP's been actually a pretty good level there for you know, the oil, or you're using headlines. And I think a combination of both these days might be something because we're not getting those huge moves, right? It is kind of more measured. You get to the top, you stop, come back into VWAP, probably reloading again for another move higher. So yeah, just interesting ways to trade the energy space these days, and I think that you know, being a little more conservative heading into the last hour might work out for us here today. So I don't know if we'll go long, but that interesting trade for me setting up is Meta. I don't know if there's anything you're looking. Oh, you're already in two positions.
Yeah, well, we had SoFi on a trend break, and the IBIT just broke. It's kind of like a grinding, like slow grind from 230. And then a little mini trend break. So this is more along the lines of, hey, it's risking about 5 pennies to here. If it gets to low, it gets to low. But it hasn't been good for Bitcoin in a general sense. And again, like you got to be sitting at your desk, man. Yeah. Look at that shelf. Like look at the shelf for the reloads. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. But it hasn't been a good look for Bitcoin. This is just all bad. Right? Like we lost 70. Forget about that. We lost 69. And the worst part about it is look at what's been happening since Bitcoin broke the trend. So this trend line goes all the way back. Okay, let's keep zooming it out, Neil. All the way back to 2023. When we broke it, all of a sudden the trend line turned into resistance. Then we dropped down again. And what happened? When we bounced, we were making, hey, look at that, we're bouncing. We're making higher highs and higher lows. Well, that's what happened last time. Higher highs and higher lows, and eventually you rejected and broke down again. So what's happening? Higher highs and higher lows. If this little channel breaks again, hello 50K. I should have made that rhyme somehow. So that's what it feels like is happening here. I mean, if I draw this, I'm going to probably get rid of it, but just visually, like it's along these lines. Like this happened. I hate that you have to, once you have the tool up, shout out to TradingView, whatever, they're free. But like, when this broke, this channel broke, look what happened. And now we're getting a similar thing the next leg down. So if we break this channel, why wouldn't we head down to 50,000 would be my question. It hasn't happened yet, but I think that could be tomorrow. Like tomorrow, we break this down, it would have to be 66. Maybe it's next week, I don't know. But until then, you know, I'm sort of the believer that you kind of go down far enough to test those lows. And we've been in a downward trend for a few months now, so going back to November of last year. So in ETH, actually ETH maybe even worse today, if we're being real about it. ETH was just as bad, if not much worse.
Yeah, ETH is down 6. What was IBIT down?
IBIT is
4?
3.5. And again, I get it. Those prices are just taking it from wherever it was at 4 o'clock because it's an ETF, but distinctly worse is ETH. So that means your BM&R and Tom Lee can't be too happy. Your MSTRs can't be doing very good. Robinhood, I didn't think Robinhood was that bad. They got it wasn't an upgrade. It initiation at buy by Jeffries this morning. That's not going to matter.
I mean, when you get a Butler upgrading and downgrading things there.
Yeah, but okay, but that's not just any Butler. Jeffries the best Butler of all time.
I'm just saying, you know, I mean, you got to stay in your lane a little bit there.
Jeffries like up here.
Yeah.
Everyone wanted.
What about Alfred? What about Alfred Pennyworth? Batman's butler and kind of surrogate father.
Valid points.
That's a. You know what?
I'm not hating on Jeffrey.
Sounds like you're hitting a little bit on him.
I can't even hate there. It's true. Alfred got the back cave. He's pretty bad.
Alfred's doing a lot of stuff, yeah, and he raised them from a kid.
But he hasn't got jokes, man. Like Jeffrey would see the thing about Jeffrey is Jeffrey would clap back at anybody. I don't care if you're paying me and you literally are. You have my job in your hand. He will clap back and tell.
Alfred could clap back from time to time, like if someone was trying to get it, and he could hold his own. Like there were times, like if you read like some of the old comics from the '90s, like he could hold his own physically. That's all I have to say.
Okay, that's fair.
Look what I started here with a stupid Jeffries joke. No, don't apologize. It's good content. There, yeah, you have to enjoy yourself a little bit. So we are doing that here today, and I want to thank everybody for joining us one more time. No earnings or anything. I don't think major tonight or anything.
Tomorrow morning's Carnival.
Is there? Okay, Carnival. Okay, so my bad.
Well, I hate Carnival Cruise earnings. Okay. We like trading Carnival Cruise Lines. We hate that Carnival
position.
comes out with earnings at like 9:15 in the morning.
Right, that's what we hate about it.
Right before the bell. It's
right.
Yes.
Okay, so oopsies, new position, and I clicked on Apple. So there it is. So we talked about this position potentially coming in, so it's in. We do have the long in Apple. It's down here at 74. Waiting to get that low if it does come in, but here we go now. Exiting out a little bit more of our TQQ trade as well. So, that's starting to come out at day's low. Again, we just broke new lows right now as the market turned in more red here today, so not a great sign there for the market, but I'm happy with getting this position right now on Apple. So I'm going to focus on this. Like, there it is again. Let's go. Spin it one more time, man, for our trade here on Apple. I mean, we gave this one. Here it goes. We'll instantly take there about that 20 cents, and there it comes. Now it's 20 cents in the money. So, we just had Steve Tyleman on. We talked about, trying to go long on a few things. I mentioned Apple. There it is. It's in the blotter now. I just took out just 20% there, 10 times, two fills times 10% each. Now we'll wait to see if we can climb a little higher. And I do want to buy that dip. So if it comes back into that 60 area, we'll pick up a little more AAPL, ADARA. What do you got?
Oh, I like that transition there, Sean. Netflix now officially announcing that they are revising, as they're putting it, their prices in the U.S. We heard reports they were going to raise their prices. Now Netflix announcing what they're calling a price revision in the U.S. by $2. Cute wording there, NFLX. Back to you.
Okay, price revisions.
Do we know what they actually are? I haven't seen hard.
I think like a $5 or so increase.
It said like $8.99. I think that's what they're going to be starting it with. The headline was not super detailed. If I see more, I'll tell you.
I mean, I don't know what the.
I copped to the whole. I don't even remember what I pay for Netflix.
Oh yeah, no, I just don't know. Like $8.99. I think that's starting. Was it $7.99? Was the paid ad tier or something like that? So sounds like you're getting just right back into that level again. A couple bucks here and there. So I think like maybe $5 on the top side.
I don't know if their ads are as bad as. Amazon.
Oh really? I don't.
No
I don't
ads
know.
could be worse than Amazon's.
I have no idea because
Netflix says aren't bad.
I don't have ads on Netflix, but Amazon is.
I feel like I don't watch anything on Amazon.
Not playing around.
I know there's lots of stuff on Amazon, but I don't.
With their ads.
I don't remember ever seeing anything with ads.
But the good thing about Amazon, the ads, is when I start something, I know that it's like, okay, well, if I'm gonna go and make myself a sandwich, I can start the show and then go make myself a sandwich.
Ooh, see, there you go.
And then I come back, and by the time I'm done,
there you go.
I can actually be past the ridiculous 20-minute. It's like only a few minutes long, the ads.
I mean, why do we care that much about that? Because cable.
I don't.
Yeah, I was gonna say we just get so used to.
Aaron.
Yeah, but she used to watch YouTube and all those ads. I know you guys have YouTube Premium, but
we have Premium now.
But she used to it. I mean, I don't find the ads. I don't know. Look, if you're trying to nickel and dime and save a little bit of money, I don't think watching a couple minutes ads is a problem. But
I don't think so.
At the end of the day, it's up to your own preference.
Netflix isn't broken, by the way.
I mean, people buy coffees, and they spend, $5, $6, $7, $8 a day on coffee. What are we talking about here with Amazon and things like that? I mean, I don't know. Anyway,
my neighbor gets Tim Hortons
whatever they want.
Tim Hortons all the time. He gets in his car and he goes to get Tim Hortons. I'm like, you just get a coffee machine, man, and save yourself some money. But Netflix, this doesn't look bad. on a weekly chart for Netflix. Like, this is a trend break. Like, talk about something, you want something that's doing its own thing. So you want to talk about doing its own thing. What was this? This was what we said was going to be the bottom. Whenever this Warner Brothers Discovery deal, which going to Paramount Skydance at some point if they ever approve this thing, and when that happened, Netflix got its bump. Went straight to 100, from 80 to 100 to 90. 80, 100, 90, 90 bounce, like it technically. So I think you got part of this was a technical break. It's trend up today. If you're coming in thinking something's going to be strong tomorrow, we have what's the saying we've been using? Like, it's guilty until proven innocent. Well, Netflix is looking rather innocent this week, or at least the last couple of days. So you could do a heck of a lot worse. I know Fastly's chart probably looks a heck of a lot better, and we're talking about Akamai there. So there's stronger names, don't get me wrong. But Netflix isn't that bad. By the way, ARM tried. ARM looked like it was going to break the trend. It did. It looked like it was finally going to break out on the 15-minute. No moss. Right back through the low of the day. So thankfully, like I ended up getting into that SoFi off of a bit of a, like that actually did a turn, like it made the fresh low and then it broke back above that prior consolidation. ARM didn't do that, and ARM is looking like it wants to give it all back. I know it's down 1%, but I'm talking about from its bounce point in the morning yesterday. We had some support here at 154 because that's where the gap is. It's from 154 to 146. So it's still got a little bit of ways to the low. But you're also running out of time here for it to get to that bounce level, Sean. Like, it's 315 for some of these names. Like, if it was going to bounce, you think it would have done so already.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on basically on all of that. I mean, I think that we should be bouncing now, and I went long Apple, and I just the market's lower, so we're starting to get out of this. We're almost out of everything. We still did talk about. I'll still use that as my eventual stop because I am hoping that you mentioned, possibly going long something tomorrow, and what we're looking at there. Netflix was a great idea, and then there's a reason why I chose Apple today. Might be the only green apple in the farm today because everything else seems to be very, very red. And we'll have a quick little look at the sector watch. Oh, what I meant to talk about Apple was quickly, I did get another piece out there at 91. So now we only have 70% left, but everything's going to the downside, and we do want to have a quick look at that again as well. But here we go. Let's just have a look at the sectors. I mean, today you're looking for some green shoots somewhere, and okay, there goes Apple. Apple just broke through 250, or is at 254. So okay, so maybe Meta's picking up good. All right, so Apple, Amazon. I mean, Meta was at 248.25 level. Go check that out if you're looking for something to trade. Right there, Caterpillar. Look at Lamb today. We can go over this as we get back, but Lamb, I just want to open this up, down 9%, so that's not good there. GEV down 5, AMAT down 8. Wow, a lot of names right there that you may have not expected. Caterpillar down 2.5. Going other way today as well as some of the consumer names, but I think Adara's got something to talk about.
I do. Keep an eye on anything related to an airport. Now, to explain what I mean, here's Clear Secure. They do like some of that security here going through the airport. You also have CAR, Avis, and of course, car rentals. Both of these spiking a little bit lower, though, recovering for now after Wall Street Journal reports that Senate Republicans are basically asking Trump to declare a national emergency in order to pay TSA agents. Now, airport stocks, again, airport-related stocks are going to be on watch with this in mind. If I get more details on this headline, including timing for this or how this would be implemented, I'll let you know.
Yeah, so Meta, I was like, oh, please don't tell me Meta broke, but it broke, of course. And there goes Meta right now, upside through that 248. So hopefully you guys had that. That's a trade. So hopefully you guys have that one right there. And of course, we just talked about that. So far, so good on that. We talked about that 248.25 break. I don't know how much money that's going to bring in for you, but so far, so good there on that break. And it does touch out to about $2 or about $1.50 right there into the 200 period. I would say you take $5.50, man, if you can get that right now. But congratulations if someone has that on board. I was too busy talking and looking at Apple. But right there goes Meta upside. Looks like a good one there.
Yeah, and I think I see a lot of people in the chat. They're like, "Oh, my portfolio is getting wiped."
Yeah, no, I actually meant to check that.
No, it is one of those things. Like, you log in. Like when I went to buy the spot, like you can't not look at your, like I'll see my RRSP, right? So you see that it's you see everything down. It is what it is. It's going to be a bloodbath kind of day. You got to separate. We're talking about Steve, like left brain and right brain. And if you have like a heavy trading account where you've been swinging long, there is some serious pain today. But there's a lot of things that broke, I think, like seemingly like stop levels that look bad. And then there's other ones where, look, 5% down is 5% down. There's no sugarcoating. I don't care what the name is. If it's a big cap name, it's bad. But there's some things that are trending up that this pullback doesn't really look so bad. And then there's like things like Meta and Microsoft and blah, 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 blah. And any software name, throw that in there. Micron doesn't look very good either. But I look over at something like a GV, like this is still holding trend. Where you get concerned is when you're talking about names that have held such a great trend. When they lose that, you got to start thinking about it. Because sometimes you get that snowball effect. And Microsoft is so bad that I have to zoom back out, and it's not even close to showing where the trend broke. Like the trend of Microsoft broke in January. That's not even a good example. Something that recently broke would be like Tesla, maybe. And then, yeah, Tesla's Tesla's at the verge of where it's starting to be. You're under the 200, you're under the 50, but it hasn't made that next leg down just yet. You're in the earlier innings. And so when you have good names like the G, if you got a G Vernova, you got a Fastly, throw some other ones out there, you can ask yourself, hey, do I need to trim when it's just been running for me forever without any pullbacks that have broken the trend? Maybe you got to ring the register sometimes. I got that in the back of my mind for some of the better performing names.
We did have I'm not sure if Adara brought this to us or not, but we did have Madrigal there, MDGL, on rumor possibly of interest from Eli Lilly. So I have it right here on Benzing. It says, watching Madrigal, trader circulating unconfirmed rumor from an M&A blog suggesting Eli Lilly could be a potential suitor for MDGL. I'll give Adara a second to sort of confirm that. But right there, MDGL looking like it does have some sort of a buyout or M&A. I don't know what exactly would be like there, but right up to, almost into past highs there. And, good for them. Look at this hold. And I don't know what products they have or what they're working on right now, but there it is right there. Nice move right in upside there on that. So really good hold of your 200 period moving average for MDGL.
10 billion, that's...
Yeah, it's not going to be huge. I mean, it's going to be a big one there if that winds up going down.
Size. So Lilly
okay, what's up, Adara?
Lilly's back at 900.
Yeah, I know. It was at 903 this morning. Yeah. What's up, Adara?
So this is what it looks like it is. I will say it's interesting that A, it's a huge rumor. B, this has been rumored since like late 2025. C, here's what happened today. Betaville basically posting, so this says 6:43 p.m. It's a UK-based website, so I did the time translation. This would have come out at 2:45, so this isn't necessarily new. And again, worth noting, there really isn't that much excitement on social media. I know the Benzinga headline said there was, but as I said, I hadn't seen anything in it when I looked into it. Not a ton of tags, but long story short, completely unconfirmed and kind of an old rumor that's just circling the mill once again. Again, like I said, it's at least a 3-month-old rumor. Back to you.
Yeah, is anyone's X working? We are having trouble connecting right now.
Okay. Maybe there's a tweet coming.
Oh, boom! It just started refreshing.
There
Well,
you
that's
go.
hilarious.
Yeah.
So I have a bunch of like 40 minutes ago was just going through on my X machine. I don't like. We'll go back to Adara. We'll talk about Lilly in a second.
Keep an eye on maybe memory plays, but also Google. Google announcing that users can bring memory from other AI apps over to Gemini. So unclear exactly how that's going to work. I guess that could be like memory of conversations or interactions. If I get more details, I'll let you know. But either way here, once again, Google announcing that users can bring the memory over from other AI apps down onto Gemini. Back to you.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think it was Merck that actually went the other way on a recent acquisition. So sometimes it's not always that you get beaten up when you make a deal, because Merck's actually, it's flat today, but it bounced off a consolidation. Much different chart from Eli Lilly. But Lilly is an example of something sitting on the precipice. On the 200 period, the good news is there's nothing firm here. It's just a rumor. But oftentimes what happens is you punish the buyer. And if they punish the buyer, Lilly's sitting on a shelf right now. So this could be, I don't necessarily love the timing of this from a technical standpoint on Eli Lilly. I wouldn't trim, but it's one of those, if I hadn't trimmed some at the high, I would at least be considering it now. Yeah, we haven't seen the market be too kind, although I'm encouraged by that look on Merck. Like Merck actually being up yesterday when they bought, it was them in Turn, whatever the heck the name of that company is. Yeah, TRN. What's, whatever the name of that. Yeah, oh, it is just Turn. It's Turn's Pharmaceuticals. Okay. See, every now and then, if you just know the ticker, that's good enough. Yep. Most of the times, you're going to be screwed, but that time it was actually good. But it doesn't feel like we want to head back in lower. So I bet, just going to jump out. thought this was going to give you a consolidation, trimmed it when we added. I'm like, nah, don't need to be fighting it. And we keep pressing higher. Nothing's happening in oil. It's mostly sideways. It's 320. It's like if things are, like if you break a trend, like if you're either going to go or going to go. And when you break a trend, I want it to start going, and it didn't. So we're going to hop out of that one. Not really seeing anything distinct. ARM is still, ARM doesn't want to get going off of the lows either. I was looking at SMCI possibly. Yuck, and more yuck, down 8% SMCI.
Yeah, what's your opinion on SMCI? Yuck or? Because we have another situation here about PayPal, and I think Erie Pages, you asked about. Oops, there it is. Yeah, I know I was going to say. Yes. Oh, by the way, we did get more longs. You can come over to the chart right here and have a quick look at Apple. We did buy that 50. We said we were going to buy this level, so we're going to do it. If it breaks 20 cents lower, we got on because I am expecting it to get back up here. So that's about 20 cents. So we'll try to go 1-to-1 on this trade. But as the market gets weaker and weaker, we may not get that level. PYPL, Erie Pages. Yeah, I mean, I think you might have found one here. Yeah, nice bump up there for PayPal. You know, definitely wants to hold this level. I mean, today it's not breaking lower, right? I mean, PayPal should be red today. We've seen some fintech. I apologize. You mentioned Robinhood, but I didn't look at it today. It's down. Okay, so PayPal. Okay, there goes. By the way, there goes Apple. Just lost a bid, so we can. That's our first red trade. The other trade that we made have been all winners. So we'll drop some money out of our pockets there on Apple. We'll go look at that in a minute. Just lost. We punched out. We got 40s on the out there. So our average price was 59 there. Not bad, 20 cents, but still not good. But anyways, yeah, PayPal. I think tomorrow there is, on a rebound day, yeah, I mean, it's looking real good right now. I mean, I think if you're going to try to swing anything right now to the long side, which I'm not sure about, this 40 looks like it wants to hold. So I think PayPal right here definitely doesn't look super strong because we're not even breaking the 50-period moving average. And I think before we actually even punch long, you want to get like a 48 print or so happening on that. But yeah, thanks for the question there, Erie Pages. And I think that we can definitely find some love for PayPal. I mean, good move off of 40. I mean, you're up 10% there in a little bit of time. I want to check on Meta because as the futures are coming back down, we did have that 48.25 break. So there it is. I can't do it better. I don't have the trade, but we did say that, the $50, 550 was key there. Hopefully you're able to get out on that bump up. And just as a tip, like I never use 50 as my exact out. You guys know that. We always try to get in a little bit before and after the key levels, right? And so, or in front of, before or in front of, either way works, in front of those levels. So if you're looking at a 50, maybe you said at 475. So just like here, if I was going to get long, this is literally 47s. I would put it at 47.10 or 47.15, something like that. These lines do change, and they're not exact prices that these stocks are going to bounce off of. If it was that easy, hell, I wouldn't be sitting here. Okay, so that's Meta right there, pretty strong. My guy over here, Marvell, I don't know if Steve went in there and hit the sell button when I mentioned to him, but right there, Marvell, $99 high of the afternoon. It got to $100. This does not have, 99 problems in my portfolio. Marvell ain't one, but now 99 is, shout out to Jay-Z, by the way, like, man, oh man, would I love to go to those concerts that are happening in a Yankee Stadium. Holy crap. If anybody was lucky enough to get those tickets, man, wow. All right, so $99 right there. Nice little drop zone for Marvell. We'll see if we can take that out tomorrow. But yeah, this name even coming back in. This was up a couple percentage points early. We broke those highs and we were all happy, happy, joy, joy. And then all of a sudden, downside there for our good friend Marvell. I did want to look here. So this is the trade on Apple. I can't be upset. We went upside. We got out where we wanted to. We actually got out of an extra fill right there as we talked about it. And then we put on, we basically had about 1 or 2 units. We had 5 units on the TQs trade. This trade, I think we had 1.5 at most, half unit there, 1 unit there. So we lost it when it dropped out off the bottom. I don't know. I don't think we should be looking long into the close. I'm not sure what your opinion is, but breaking back down below 2% right here. The market, every time it seems to want to bounce, it's not. So it just gets met with resistance. So I would say like either hands off, put your hands up in the air and you wave them like you just don't care, might be a good time now, but I'm going to potentially get out one more piece here on the TQQs and then just hold the rest and see if we have any luck into the close. But yeah, right here at the lows, I think it's just watch and keep asking us questions if there's anything you guys.
The only
want
good
us.
thing is this silly, like if you're in, like I'm just sitting here and like SoFi, we keep making fresh lows in the futures and it just keeps holding, like it's holding the higher low, but like it's not breaking it out. So it's just inside of the consolidation and you're not really breaking out that top. Like nothing is really giving you that big look. Someone just said battle tanked. BATL, that's the battalion energy.
Yes, did it?
Here's a good one. Remember with these, whenever oil, so like when you get a strong upward trend in USO, if USO breaks the trend, it's like way worse for these small cappers that go crazy because this would be 150. And what happens? Like this is already breaking down and losing the top. So you make a disconnect here. So at about here, you already know, hey, this is weaker than what's going on in the energy space. And then all of a sudden, by the time it's already down, breaking down underneath VWAP, it's a reversed trend, and you can just trade it at VWAP. And then you have the comfort of knowing that USO has also made a top. Like you don't even have to guess at the top. Like that's a trade. We forgot all about these. I didn't look at Indo today. I didn't look at Battle. Didn't look at TEPT was another one of those. No, it's not TEPT. It's TP. Titan Project. TPT. Oh, that's 81 cents. No, it didn't go to exactly $1 and fade today. Yes, it did. It went to exactly $1 and yeah, whatever. That would be overnight levels anyways. But this is the problem with these. Conflict starts, it breaks a buck, and conflict is not over, and it's right back to, almost back to where it started. There's a big difference between all these energy names that you're chasing for squeeze and the ones that are actually, you know, like Chevron's a good company. Occidental's been good since earnings, so it's actually trending up.
So I just pointed this to you. I asked him why right now. Why? And again, not being, you know,
Facetious?
Yeah, like cute about this. I just want to know, Lindenmeyer here. Why do you think it's a load the boat long on AMD? Are you talking? And I'm just, you know, it's put in the chat, please, because there it is. He just mentioned. Okay, here. My bad. I can just keep on switching this up in case people aren't in the chat. Get in the chat. I mean, this is all being posted there. Neil and I can clearly look at the chat, and we do it all the time. So make sure you do that. Shout out to everybody watching us on TikTok and everywhere. We're looking at all the chats. Fabian created this pretty awesome widget where we can now, it sort of compiles all of the chats. So no matter where you guys are, thank you so much. We're looking at it all. The busiest still, YouTube. But okay, so you mentioned there, 204.44. Well, hey, right now, I mean, I can maybe go long that level and just see what winds up happening there. But okay, so, and I sort of meant like why, so good, thanks for the exact pricing there. But what gives you that exact price there? Like what are you looking at? Because right here, I have the 25 period as that level. If I zoom back into a daily, for me, I don't really know what I'm looking at there. I mean, it could be those tops for sure. I mean, there's always something going on, you know, with the market. So I don't want to say put words in your mouth, but definitely Lindenmeyer right now for everybody liking the long right into there. So for me, I don't. I mean, I'm not really favoring longs.
If it's like today, like nothing seems to, even the things that hold the low, they're not giving you a secondary push. And here, like it's still trending down. So doesn't look any good. Like,
there's like
even just now, like I told you guys, SoFi finally made a higher low. As I said, like it makes a consolidation. It's trending all day long. Makes a higher low. It's looking like it's finally doing something. It tried to do it here, but there's zero continuation. So it just ends up like a nothing trade trying to take longs off of these bottoms.
Again, like I don't know if we're trying to be cute here or anything, Vin, but I do believe in that. It's just, you know. We also get questions about like, you know, when do we buy Microsoft? Well, I mean, the thing is that if we're saying what goes up must come down, or what goes down must come up, I guess, and you're using AMD as specific examples. So AMD does have that roller coaster, and there's no doubt. I mean, if you're looking at a daily level for AMD, it should be bouncing. So I can definitely buy that. But I was just going to say that $600 level on Meta, you know, 400 I thought was. I mean, 400 wasn't as much of a magnet for Microsoft as I think a lot of us hoped it would be. But now you're about basically 8 straight down days for Microsoft today. I don't know, it's showing green candle today, but that's definitely not right. As we're down another 1.5% on Microsoft here today. So I don't want to think that just because we're at levels that have bounced before, that will happen again. If anything, and again, like we talked about PE, and I know PE is not everything, okay? So, don't add us for that. But NVIDIA's half the PE of what AMD is. So I was gonna say, like, if I am part of this AI revolution and I wanna be making trades, I would choose NVIDIA over AMD just because I know where the bread is buttered here. And it's just, I do believe in AMD, and I do believe that there can be more than one winner in this space. I mean, we saw GPU getting part of the TPUs and creating everything. And then today, or yesterday, I think it was, the story about the memory there with Google as well. But yeah, for me, I would prefer NVIDIA over AMD, but I'm, again, talking up my own book. But yeah, interesting call there by both Lindenmeyer and Vin. Like
their forward P's dropping under 20 now.
Which
Remember
one?
How AMD, it's insane.
Is it?
They're forward. But the problem with forward PEs is you're getting some rosy guidance across the board. Like it's a Micron one that gets me. And for that to be single digits. Like I can't remember the last time Micron was, it's been single digits before, but it's a little bit intense. At least you can say this with AMD. If you buy the dip on AMD, at least there's something here that can tell you, well, if you make a trade, you should have an idea what does it mean to be wrong and where is your out? So you could simply say if it closes underneath the 200 period moving average, I have distinct something that tells me that this is no longer good. That's available to you on AMD. The conventional, we've been talking about Microsoft. Well, you buy Microsoft, maybe you can guess at this level. Are we talking about the April lows?
This is what I'm trying to get at.
The tariff lows?
Where do you buy it?
Is that like you're going to give it to the tariff lows? Or are you just sort of saying it's a long-term play and I'm going to DCA into it, which is a totally different mentality. DCAing in your retirement account is not a trade. It is a long-term buy that you think you're getting a good entry point on. But it's a long-term buy that you're holding for years probably. That's one context. Saying I want a bounce trade, and there's nothing wrong with a bounce trade, man. Like there's nothing wrong with a bounce it off the 200 period on AMD, because that's won several times for a swing. Heck, you just got to 220. So if you did it the last time, you got 10%. So maybe you get that again, but you have to know where you're wrong. In trading, it's all about where am I wrong, and do I actually get out when that condition is met? And most of the time you get in trouble when you know where it is that the trade is supposed to be wrong and you don't get out because that condition is met. So AMD is much like other ones. You could argue it's holding up better than NVIDIA, even though I wouldn't pick it over.
I also don't think there's
race.
Oh, did you hear something? Okay, I got to refresh.
Never mind. Nah.
I got to refresh mine because I definitely did not hear anything. Okay, so I was going to say, if you all don't want to pick and choose anything, this is the Mag 7 ETF. So yeah, getting absolutely crushed, of course, as we talked about the Nasdaq being down about that 10% from the highs. This MAG ETF would be basically the exact same, but this is down 17% right there. So all of them, if you go back to the November highs, which of course is cherry picking, but we do that on purpose, right there, right into the highs and right into the lows, 16.7% down on the best and most valued companies there in the world. So definitely have a look over there if you are interested in the MAG 7 ETF. And I think it might be time to almost, okay, honestly, obviously this trade has never gone against us. I didn't take it, that 548 break, but I think it's been a good one. And what I wanted to say about sort of Meta and all these other stocks here today, I really feel like whenever we get all these questions about, in the chat, what am I going to do? Like, my portfolio is getting crushed. Like that has been a good time to go in there and kind of buy. And I don't think, you necessarily need to, completely just say, that's it. Like, this is the bottom, because that would be crazy. I don't think we have a reason to assume that this is the bottom. But, picking something up, like if you like Meta, not much has actually changed in their business. I mean, we get that story yesterday that they're gonna have to pay a small fine. And then that could lead to, again, more worries. Will they have to change their algorithm? Will they have to, and I'm talking about this for the younger generation, right? That was a concern here, that we are poisoning them. with all this social media stuff, which obviously you can tell by the way I'm talking, I don't believe in that. But at the end of the day, it's quite a move down. And I just think that we've had these plays before, and it's resulted in, good buying opportunities. Now, I don't know where it's going to end up, but like if you bought here on this move in tariff time, it was only, 3 or 4 weeks later, you got that move down to the bottom. And then 3 or 4 weeks later after that, you were right back to where you bought it again. So I just think if you can sort of plug your nose and hold out for a little bit, I do think there will be some times that these markets are going to get back up. To me, the bigger issue now is not just what's happening in the Middle East. We do have a new Fed chair that's going to be coming on. I am worried about all the money that this war is costing, which is going to lead to inflation.
Did you hear the things that Trump was saying about the Fed situation today? Because it was pretty entertaining. So he said at one point, quote, the Fed chair is a moron, or we've got a moron at the Fed. That was the exact quote. He also said, though, and here's the interesting stuff with Kevin Warsh. Now, I don't know if this is true. We wouldn't know. But he said, for one, A, Kevin Warsh will be outside because of the building renovations. He's not going to have an office. B, maybe we'll move him to the White House.
What the hell?
And C, and this is what I think is really interesting, if it's true, is that apparently Kevin Warsh told President Trump that, I'm paraphrasing slightly, but they've ruined the beautiful Fed building. So if he's actually said that, I don't know. But I mean, President Trump spent at least 10 minutes straight today in between talking about Sharpies, just really getting upset about these Fed renovations. So interesting notes. Like, I don't know if he and Warsh are actually discussing this, but if they are, especially if he moves into the White House, that could open some interesting windows.
That's so crazy. The guy's not even allowed to have an office. Poor Kevin Warsh. Okay.
That is the dumbest. Anyway.
Whatever. I mean, it's just funny stuff. I mean, I'm sure the guy's actually going to have an office. I thought that whole, what is it, the South Wing or what's it, the East Wing, West Wing? I don't know what he's doing. But doesn't it look like a sphere? Did I see that? I think if you could find a picture of what it looks like.
There was one thing that you said that I think people should remember, because we remember this.
Get rid of that.
Go back to the example of when things get really bad. Like you remember like 2008. Anybody that was buying stuff, like I remember like I DC'd a couple of some of my Canadian holdings, like some Canadian, like you were buying some stuff that like you were really holding your nose, but you.
In 2008?
I'm talking about in that wind down. You were uncomfortable.
Sorry, I just bought Lehman Brothers, so
buying some dips. But if you felt good that hey, these are going to be fine, and blah blah, Enbridge isn't going under because of the financial crisis, like that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But you had to hold your nose. It's not even a fraction of that here. It hasn't even gotten that uncomfortable is my point. We've seen worse in the last few years. We've seen worse than this more than once. So I feel like, it's
for sure. If
2021 was worse, COVID was worse than this. It's just.
No, there are multiple 20% corrections. Like I'm talking about dozens of them.
There's nothing yet.
Yeah, no. Well, and I don't know if it's going to get to be anything. Earnings are still real strong. I'm actually not that worried. I don't know, maybe, but I'm worried for the short term. I'm not, I think next earnings season, that'll be interesting. Yeah. But, I mean, we've sat here and talked about.
I'm stink bidding stuff still. I'm not pulling.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't think it's, I mean, you showed me the money supply here in Canada. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. I think inflation is going to get worse. And, there's a lot of people, if you don't have to, I think rents are getting a little bit better around in Toronto, and I know that Sharif keeps talking about the housing market as prices are getting more affordable. But what's affordability if nobody has money? But at the end of the day, I think we will prevail to the upside here. I'd actually said, and I don't know if you guys remember, but if you guys remember back in March or November when we were doing our talks about the new year and everything. I had said there's no way, and I mean, it's a popular opinion. I'm not trying to say that we nailed this one, but it was I said there's no way that we should be able to expect the same returns that we've even been getting over the last couple of years this next year. Now, I wish I had said that with my pocketbook because then I would be out of everything instead of hell along everything. But, this is kind of what we were expecting to some extent. And, to say we're expecting this kind of a move, I think is wrong. But expecting the extent of this, potentially, you're only going back to August Like, where were you last August, everybody? Like, this, it's not, you know, I don't think we were super, you know, we had a good move up and we have just pulled back. So we're just into some of those levels again. The thing why this feels different is because it's kind of like straight down, you know, over the last week. And then we have tons of headlines that don't allow you to sleep very comfortable at night for your portfolio. When stuff is happening like this, it's just real quick. It's like, rip the Band-Aid off, we're right back up. Rip the Band-Aid out, like we're right back up. This is more like, you know, you've got that kinesiology tape on, and you can't, this is the problem with being Italian, maybe too much information here. We got a lot of hair, you know, so you're trying to rip off that Band-Aid, and it just hurts. You know, and right now it's kind of like peeling off. And then eventually, you know, you hope that these interest rates and everything can get all manageable, and Kevin Warsh can find an office somewhere and really, you know, renegotiate his contract so that he can find a place to sit down. I mean, we need to get Russell over here a seat, man. This guy's limping,
No, but Russell
working around, and
Russell doesn't stop working. He doesn't sit. Mark doesn't sit around here. They all work too hard.
some people sit around here.
Before we go to Adara, we had mentioned money supply. I just want to point something out. This is not me throwing shade at my own country, but so the blue is the U.S. That's what matters. And see the big one where it went the most parabolic at the top, M2 money supply. That's unfortunately Canada. But here's the thing: when you round off that top, and all of a sudden it starts going in the other direction, what do you think happens when you've had explosive
Diarrhea?
Explosive expansion of the M2, and then it starts to taper off. Disaster. Like when it is not good when that happens. All of that said, it's a heck of a lot worse for Canada in that case than it is for you guys. Anyone looks at, all they do is print money and blah, blah, and government spending. Yeah, we'll see what happens up north of the border in the last 10 years. It's that unwind you get concerned about. You're going to get concerned about some of the financial. We've already seen it with the credit crunch. And
what was the name that Trump had for Trudeau again? I know it was derogatory. I think.
Governor Trudeau.
Governor, okay, it wasn't that bad. I think there was worse names, but yeah, Governor Trudeau.
Money print.
There's a whole Wikipedia page if you just want to look at what Trump's nicknamed people. It's incredibly entertaining.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
send me that. I want to
about it. It's real. I'll send you the link, Sean, in our own chat. But it's
that'd be hilarious. I'd love
it's
to
worth
see
looking at, is what I'll say.
Because I want to confirm that little Marco Rubio thing that I talked about yesterday. Yeah. Okay, what's up? Who are we going to? Adara again? Okay, let's go.
Yeah, if you just Google President Trump nicknames, you will find the Wikipedia page. I think Neil might actually be on it right now because I hear him laughing. But let's talk about Firefly. Shout out to Firefly. I mentioned this story earlier today, but they're still doing really well in the day. So just to go over this again, Firefly this morning confirmed they have a public-private partnership with the Pentagon. So their FDA-cleared EEG and ERP technology is going to be deployed to support the assessment of treatment of PTSD and traumatic brain injury in U.S. service members. So very good cause here and good story for AIFF. Back to you.
Okay, I'm on the Wikipedia
I don't need
page.
to read these out.
You don't need to read them, but I'm going to show them anyways. All right, so here's. Oh, is there bad words on here?
Some of them, yeah.
Okay, sloppy Steve Bannon. That seems okay to me. Mini Michael Bloomberg over here. Yeah, just.
It's just like my person. Like it's like my Steve or my whoever. That's a lot of them actually.
Yeah.
Alvin Bragg, Fat Alvin. Like
I don't even know who Alvin Bragg is.
I don't even know who Alvin Bragg is. Come on.
Low IQ Liz Cheney. Okay. Well, Crooked Hillary. We know about that one here. What else is on here? Oh, Lion Ted Cruz. We knew that. Oh, there he is. Hey, what's up, Ted? There, look at you. Oh, there he is. Hey, what's up? Come on, man. Look at this picture of this guy. Okay, Meatball Ron. Oh, Ron DeSantis. Okay, that's my new favorite one. Ron DeSantis.
Ron has been denied. So it was reported
denied by Trump.
But Ron DeSanctimonious is real. I went down this rabbit hole for way too long.
All right, I'm not going to do this anymore. But you guys can go find it out there, Wikipedia. There. I don't want to insult anybody. Honestly, I mean it's to each their own. But that's just,
well, whatever.
That's just funny stuff.
Sometimes it's like you have to be able to find certain things amusing.
Right.
It is what
You're
it
right.
is. I couldn't call people.
Yeah, I don't
tell my daughter not to call people names.
Right.
It is what it is.
It's just fun. I just think it's funny to read it because we all do know that does happen. Maybe not something to show your kids, but this is how the president is what he's talking about. But I just find it funny, like him and Marco are now like such good friends, it appears like, and throwing shade over there. So yeah, that's it. Fun times.
3 minutes till the imbalances.
What?
Here.
Already? Okay, the markets are at the lows again.
Yeah, CVE was an early look of buy. BM&R, maybe the only thing interesting, 2.2 million early look to the sell side, so I might throw that one up for the imbalances coming out here. There's no expected index action. SOX L is a early look buy of 1 million, so That's not nothing. Yeah, maybe nothing too crazy here. So we'll probably wait till the imbalances come out. I don't see anything. There was nothing worth like tracking to get into. Like the last couple of weeks, we've had a few where you get in before 350 and they've worked out really well. I'd say none of that here today. But yeah, 2 minutes to go.
All right. Okay, tomorrow. All right, tomorrow we're gonna just do this very, very simple here. I'm gonna start a new chat, a new poll up right now. It's just gonna say tomorrow. That's it. And then you just say red or green. And I'm gonna use red first because I always do green first. So red.
Same amount of exclamation.
Red or green. No exclamation marks.
No?
No, I don't want to influence
Which
anybody.
one? Oh, red's.
Start voting. You guys type 1 here for red or 2 for green.
See, you know what I don't like about that? Is the red, see, you should have done it the other way.
Neil,
now
come on, man.
Now I gotta look at red as blue and, anyways.
This is, okay.
I'm just messing with you.
No, I'm just playing around. I think it's fun. This is most of what I do on here is just for fun.
No,
What's for
we're
lunch?
doing.
Oh, hold on, Joe. I mean, see, this is what I'm saying. I had this conversation with Joe. You know, this guy just wants more and more time over here. I like it though, Joe. Get your mic on. We can do anything you want, man. Okay, so yeah, it looks like it's pretty even. I was actually going to say we could see a bounce back day.
I put green.
So I'm going to type 3. No, just joking. I'm going to say red, but, and there's no but. I mean, I think red, so I'm voting red. Just from what I would think is just maybe not like half a point, like half a percentage point, so 0.5 or 0.23. And the reason why I think that is, I do think that Donald Trump is a man of the markets. We've talked about that. I don't think he's going to like the action today. I don't think.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if we do get that 6 a.m. Who was it? Oh, no, it was Steve that talked about this. That early morning tweet where he wakes up tomorrow, the Dow's down 500 points or something, and he tweets, great news. I've contacted the Ayatollah or whatever, and the Strait of Hormuz is open. And then, at 10 o'clock, he starts to maybe call that back a little bit and says, J.D. Vance told him that, and it's not true or something, and we move on from that. So I would just say that to try to rally the markets tomorrow, I could see us maybe opening green, potentially fading, and then we have to mix the stories again. But I don't feel like today we wrote down risk off.
I think you got a different one. Like, there's another possible reason for that too. Like I voted 2, but that's half of it. Does he want to leave the market with looking like this going into the weekend? And 2, this is a pretty.
I forgot it was the weekend. Even.
It's a capitulatory type of day. Oh, yeah. You're gonna tell me like Meta 8%, Google 4%, and we'll go over. I can go over my quote board in a second. When I see days like that, usually the next day, even if it's a small one, I'm thinking bounce. So when bounce is about to hit in 1 second, and bam, nothing. Burgers, SoFi is a buy of 1.4 million. Snapchat 1.3 million. Netflix is a sell. Netflix was running 1.1 million to the sell side for Netflix. Running. I don't see any Intels there, but that's not a big deal. 800,000. No NVIDIA. No Apple.
Yeah, no Snapchat. I mean, Snapchat's there, sorry. Your SoFi is a bid, but doesn't matter. You're out of that. Yeah, I don't really see anything on here. Oh, there's Tesla with a decent, it was right at the bottom, 500. Decent buy there. We'll zoom in a little bit there for Tesla. We could zoom down a little bit, BAC. That's not even Fastly. What is stock fast? There's BMNR. This has been a good one. We've seen BMNR move a little bit on imbalances, down 8%. I guess people would rather hold GameStop today, right? All right, Intel right there, down, up with a bid, not up on the date. Intel down 7%. I mean, I really do think that today is just one of those days, man, where it just keeps on going and going. And we talked about like being long versus short. I tried to throw my hat into the ring with Apple there, and yeah, that was closed real quick on that trade. But yeah, it just looks like blood in the streets right now. Names that you and I, not you and I, you talked about buying some SPY today, but I did want to see, actually here, where on here, I want to look at like PanW and CrowdStrike and all that. Consumer services, and that should be a technology service, right? Oh, there it is, okay. Oh, wow, yes. We found a sector that's up today.
Who's holding it up?
I don't know, man. They all are. Here's CrowdStrike up 2. PanW up 2.5 right there. Yeah, buddy. All right. There we go. Fortinet. What up, Fortinet? So there it is, man. Yeah, how to turn a frown upside down. Find one stock that you own that happens to be up. Oh, boy. So I own 30 of them. 29 down, 1 up today, so that's not bad. Oh man,
That's all about, man.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, my guy.
I promise.
Yeah, but I do own some energy stocks.
No,
so
I was about to say there's no chance that it's only one, because if you own anything in the energy sector and
yeah, but I mean,
Toronto,
if you listen to my portfolio, you would think I don't own anything
a couple
green.
of points.
Oh yeah, I got AbbVie.
Yeah, trust me.
I don't got Cisco.
I know, because I was doing some looking myself.
Oh, I just looked right now. I'm down.
No, it is what it is. The overall
Down a salary
retirement
today.
account is not. This is one of those don't look at it kind of days.
Oh, I already did.
I know.
Bad idea. Because I hadn't looked in a while, and I was like, oh, how bad is this today? And, being 90% technology is a tough one. All right. Ooh, there's Robinhood. Did it break? I guess it must have broke through 70 or so.
No.
How come when I click on this, it doesn't show up over here?
Had, actually.
Okay. Well, anyways, yeah, the market not great today, and I hope you guys are having fun with us. Sometimes you got to have some fun. All right. So
it did. It barely broke.
Well, it's at
so
70.
Robinhood barely broke, and now it's at 70.30. But I think if you look at the daily, yeah, the actual low, the low is 68 on the year. So if it loses 68, then we're in trouble. We got a super chat.
Ooh.
Easy
peasy. I don't see that email though, my guy. Oh, there it is. I see it.
I built it. I built email sent to Trader TV Marketing. Not a good day in the market. Absolutely true.
I got what you built. The looks like you built the Discord. Is that what it is? Okay, we'll look at that and we'll talk about that tomorrow. Let me go through that email and check it out. We'll check that out tomorrow. But all right, good. Thank you, Easy Peasy. There it is, man. He said, "Build and you shall come." So a little bit of Field of Dreams action right there for our good friend Easy Peasy. And thank you so much. We'll definitely check it all out over there on Discord and whether or not we want to get that going and sponsor it or whatever. Okay, so thank you for doing that. We will have our higher minds look at that one. All right.
Firefly today.
Yeah. AIFF. Ooh, what's going on? Is there news on that one, Adara? AIFF?
She brought it a couple times. They
mentioned it a couple times, but AIFF, public-private partnership with the Pentagon. Basically, what they're going to do is they're going to use their technology to help treat traumatic brain injuries and post-traumatic stress disorder in service members. So actually, very noble cause.
There we go.
If you see a problem in the world that needs solving, take a risk and create a company and solve that problem. There is nothing more noble than that, and one of the reasons I love the system that we're in. And so shout out to Firefly. How could you, whatever, man, I don't own shares of the company, and it's not a pitch to it, but come on, man. If you're not rooting for success in the company doing that, then
oh boy,
who the hell wouldn't? That's all I got to say. Heck, I meant, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, right now this is 250 in the money. This is our trade from the morning, man. I mean, it's just holding my net all day, pretty much. I mean, it's the only trade we have, this and Apple. So there it goes, man, just covering into the close. We did real good holding on to this, honestly. I was at an appointment during this, so I would have got some out as that was happening. Come right back here. Can you tell when I sat back at my desk, 205? We take a bid there because that was the low at the time, and then it just drops further and further and further, right? I mean, I think when you're playing momentum names like that, we do got to do a little bit better holding on to some, but we actually did wind up holding on. So it was a pretty good move into the downside. We're expecting, I guess, just hearing maybe we're expecting more Trump's talk tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is.
It's some Greek Independence Day celebration at 4 p.m. Given that it's Trump, he could start later.
Okay. So at 4 p.m. we could get another move in these markets.
Any earnings though?
We got it was just CCL. Yeah, CCL tomorrow morning. So we've got a lot of super chats today. So we want to say thank you to everybody. All of your questions well received. We want to thank everybody who's watching us on TikTok and everywhere today. Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Rumble, wherever you are. Thank you so much. Thank you to Bravely, who's monitoring all of that talk for us over there on TikTok as well. Thanks, Fabian, for building up the chat so we can read it all there. I realized tomorrow's Friday, but I didn't. By the way, happy Friday to everybody, a day early.
Almost.
We could be in trouble. I know I voted red, by the way, for that number, but let me just go over and see what everybody else is voting right now, because I actually think, and hit the chat right now. Look how close this is. This is 54-46 for tomorrow.
That's a coin.
It's pretty easy, man. What do we want tomorrow? If you guys can get into that and vote. So I just put tomorrow, You know, the answer is
Well, not
Friday,
what you
but
want, what-
red or green? Yeah. What are we thinking for tomorrow's market? So I can see right now people in the chat starting to light it up right now, ones and twos, and it does seem pretty mixed. So we went back and forth and talked a little bit about, you know, what could happen tomorrow. I do think the president will not be very pleased with what this market's doing. Neil dancing with the bulls tomorrow. I think it'll be interesting. I think we could, like I said,
up is probably going to be like 0.7%.
yeah, I think we'll open up green and then end red. So let's wait to see what winds up happening there tomorrow. I do think that there could be some enthusiastic buyers off open, thinking that, oh, we missed the dip.
I think it's more like,
And that's when,
yeah.
I think it'll be,
Oh, we got another super chat.
Another super chat, okay.
Send it. We've got, there it is.
Okay.
Dot Modalis, wondering if I should sell BMNR down 30%.
Depends if you want to go down 40% or not.
Well, I mean, the good news is you're only down 30%.
Right.
Because you could be down 80% or 75, 70. I don't know. You guys, I'm doing the math in my head. I'm probably wrong there. You could be down a heck of a lot more. You've got to have an out. Like, I would imagine, like, would you be in this if you were giving it through the low? I don't know. Like, I don't like, if I'm in something like this, I'm trying to pick the bottom, I'm not trying to hold through the fresh low. The whole idea is it's making higher lows and you got a support level. You got to have an idea of what it means to be out or wrong in your trade before you come in. So if the conditions that got you into it are still there, fair enough. But I don't like it. If I was looking for a bounce, I haven't seen any signs of it yet. It's under every major moving average, obviously, as you can see. But it's hugged the 50 period. So I guess a break of the 50 period would be a good signal that it's made some kind of a bottom. ETH is not doing well. Keep in mind, we're in a moment where Ethereum is clearly weaker than Bitcoin as well. Maybe you're like, okay, well, it's good till ETH breaks the low. Well, that's 10% away as well before we break the low on the year for ETH. Yeah, it doesn't look very healthy.
Look, man, I mean, I'm in crypto, and I think it's a house of cards, to be honest with you, man. And like, that's why I just sort of said, like, if you want to be down 40%, you could probably hold it. If 30 is good enough for you, man, I would probably think about getting out. Yeah, but again, we're not giving, Neil and I, you know, our job's not to sit here and give like financial advice about your own trades.
I'll just look at the chart.
The best advice is to have an out.
Gotta have an out.
And if it hits, man, I would just say there's always tomorrow, like there's always another investment. So if you're down 30% on something and you don't like moving forward with that, you can find something else, like 30%. SoFi's down 40% or 50% from its highs, more than 50% from its highs.
Easily.
So, you know, you can either invest in Ethereum, which I tried to ask people yesterday what the bull case was, and the only thing I heard was staking and stable coins. So, or you can invest in other companies, and it's just up to you guys where you think your money is best suited. Ethereum millionaires have been made already, as we know. All right, only 10 seconds left, and of course, this closing bell is brought to you by Beta Pro by Global X. Go scan that QR code and check them out right now. And there goes the close into the day. The Nasdaq will go out down 2.5%. The S&P 500 down 1.8%. Both names or both indexes at the lows of the day as we go. I just got filled right there at the close. We are the Diamond Hand Man today as we got a big move in the TQQs. So we will have stake tonight. But okay, so that's a good one there. Downside for the TQQs. Just checking out some of the major markets before we go. Gold, we'll check that out with GLD. Gold today down 4%. Oh, good. I was going to say 4, and that's what winds up happening. I think silver was a little more aggressive. Unfortunately, we did have that trader in the morning there that said, I'm going to buy some silver and go to the beach. Well,
maybe he covered it.
Yeah. And I was like, remember, I was like, long or short? And he was like, long. But that was early, so it could have been right. Yeah, 100%. Downside move there into the lows for silver. Down 6% on silver. Down 4% on gold. And then IBIT is not going to look like the right percentage points there. But if I look at IBIT itself, 68.5 right down there for IBIT. And, for Bitcoin, and IBIT down 3 and a bit. One more major market, and then I'll throw it to Neil, we wrap this thing up. IWM, again, this is going to be a problem, man. I mean, IWM, I know it's only down 1.7. This is an interesting name. The small cap runners may not run, especially if we don't get that interest rate cut. Yeah, that's it, man. I think it was a really good show today. I want to thank the midday guys.
They could still raise.
No, I think so. I think I agree with Katina, man. I think we might see a little bit of a pop here tomorrow morning. I think today can set up for a nice recovery rally for leading into tomorrow's session. And then who knows, anything can be faded at that point. But I think we do rally at some point.
Yeah.
Just don't get too wrapped up in it. We've seen days like this before. Just because you gap up or bounce a little bit, it doesn't change the trend. And by the way, we're still sitting a 6% chance of a rate hike in next turn. And if you look at going out to the end of December, yeah, last I checked, that's still over 45%. Over a 45% chance that rates are higher at the end of the year, not lower, higher. That's bad for the IWM.
Yep.
That's going to continue to look bad. But thank you to everybody. Hey, shout out to Russell enough. What
do
you got?
I have something. Yeah, go.
You guys want to rate that lunch or?
Oh, rate that lunch.
Rate that lunch, gentlemen.
Okay, we can rate that lunch. Today was the Greek chicken with the roasted vegetables.
The
Did we even have potatoes?
non-Greek salad.
I'm going to go a solid 7.2.
Okay.
7.2, okay.
All right. I got to hear Neil's now.
Okay. Oh, you're.
6.4.
Where's Joe? Where's Joe's face over
You
here?
can, whatever.
Okay, 6.4. Okay, so what, you go last, Joe? Is that
No,
what
I'm going last here. I need to
go
hear
last.
everyone else's, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go under 7 because of the dryness. I'm going to go 6.7?
6-7. Oh, 6-7. All right. The chickpeas were good.
Yes. Oh, yes, yes,
The
yes.
chickpeas were good.
Yep, that was the best part of the meal.
What we need is the other side of the chicken to be cooked as well too, just not the one side, because I like a nice thorough cook throughout that.
Yep, most people do.
I'm gonna go around there too, probably around a 6-4. We'll give it a 6-4 there. Salad was good. The dressing was really good.
Yeah, but it was a Greek.
The one thing they have nothing
a
to do with the
Greek
dressing.
flag. They literally had a Greek flag. Do you think we got a Greek salad today?
It said Greek salad. And I know it wasn't, but it's what
We
it said.
didn't get a Greek salad.
No, we did not.
Doesn't even make it makes no sense. And when it doesn't make sense, then we just have to live with it. But look, it's going to be.
It was not. My chicken, if anything, I thought the chicken was maybe even over a little bit. I thought mine was a little.
Mine was dry.
Okay, well,
My
there
chicken
you
was
go.
dry. Like, I don't think it was under.
My chicken was like probably the moistest chicken. I hate that I use that word that I've ever had from this office. I thought it was
That's good though, right?
cooked today.
Yeah, okay, there we go. All right. To each their own. This is a great environment here, and we want to thank everybody for watching every day, and we can do that. Oh, I wanted to put this out. Yeah, so Princess Tequila there in the chat wants to know, did I hear glass break? Joe, did we hear glass break? See you, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Hit it, Joe.
Peace.
See ya.